Okay, Hombre. Well, thanks for agreeing to do a bit of a play test on this idea I'm had idea for writing up. I watched. We do this movie Monday. Well, one of the films we watched gave me this idea, maybe like a kernel of an idea for an adventure to sort of bounce off. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see if you whether my conceit pays off or not, or whether you was like, yeah, I didn't get that. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. If it's time bandits, I'm good.
Yeah, if it's time managed, all your guys should be dwarves, right? Then you would have known, right?
Straight away, man.
No, they're not all dwarves. Actually, speaking of which, do you want to just in one line introduce maybe each of you're playing all the pre-gens, aren't you?
All the pre-gens, yeah. So please accept my apologies if people notice that I've missed things or anything like that at all.
Yeah, yeah.
So 6 characters. There's Ganther, is a human 3rd level fighter.
Cool.
22 hit points. Good on strength. +1/+1. And then he's very intelligent, interestingly. So 17 intelligence, 17 strength, 17 intelligence. That is his kind of main things for kind of bonuses.
Yep.
He's a kind of a classic heavy duty fighter, so heavy armor.
Yep.
He's got a +1 hammer and a heavy crossbow as well. So
Nice.
and a few other little bits and pieces.
Yep.
I think they're interestingly a secret self-penned book of poems.
All right. A
So
scholar.
just scholar.
Nice. Fighter poet.
So yeah. Then we've got Bard Blue, who's a dwarf, 3rd level thief.
Nice.
He again is quite strong, actually. Interestingly, for a thief. So +1/+1. And then also kind of as you expect with a dwarf. Well, as you expect with a dwarf for Constitution, so Constitution 15. And then also because he's a thief, he's got Dexterity 15. Light armor, as expected. Better daggers. And he's got lots more gold than everybody else.
Actually, I probably should have said from the beginning. This is it's written up as a system neutral, but we're playing it in as AD&D 1E, right?
Yes, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so we kind of when it comes to armor class and other bits and pieces, it will be
Descending.
descending rather than ascending.
Yep.
We've then got Thanik, who's a half orc, female half orc. The first two chaps are chaps.
Yep.
She's a cleric, 3rd level, with a fairly kind of reasonable stats. Nothing that gives her anything kind of massively beneficial. She's got a staff of healing, which we've decided is fairly ornate and a bit of an artifact, so she can't use it as a staff. It's only got 2 charges left, so we'll kind of maybe at some point kind of work out what's happened with all of those and why she's carrying it.
Yep. Or where they can be even recharged, possibly.
Yeah, we can see
Dig into
everything then. And her main weapon, she's got medium armor, and her main weapon is a whip. Interestingly,
Nice.
so
For a
I'm
cleric.
sure we've been there.
No,
So
I guess the other thing is like these stats are kind of in the classic, sort of in the range of the roll 4, drop the lowest. So they're a little bit higher than if you were like
just do
doing
the kind of classic 3 and live with it.
the OD&D kind of like.
Yeah, I kind of I
Macho.
don't particularly like that type of thing.
Yeah, you like
I
it-
kind of know I've made my feelings known on those things. So
heroic characters, which is right.
well, that's the whole thing, isn't it? You are playing a game of theoretical, not necessarily like monstrously heroic people, but people slightly
Yeah.
above the norm, as it were. So
They're not turnip hunters or anything. They are
Yeah.
like classic adventurers, and they're 3rd level-ish, all of them. So
Yeah.
they've been around.
yeah, they've
So-
done a few bits and pieces,
so-
so they kind of know how to look after themselves. Until obviously I've taken over. We then have Wellan, who is a female gnome magic user, 3rd level again. And as with magic users, low armor class, only 7, hit points of just 8. So that's a bit of a worry.
Yeah.
Although we've got kind of intelligence up at 17, so that's given us bonuses on our bits and pieces there. And dexterity and charisma of both 15 as well. So I might have liked to have seen that in Constitution, but again, that's kind of one of those things where but also again, it's kind of quite in keeping with those type of things, isn't it? Really. So oh gosh, I didn't do the spells for Thanik. I'll go back very quickly to Thanik. So she has 3 from first level, so they're all cure light wounds, just because that's just for me what clerics do.
Yeah.
And then 1 from the second level, which I've gone for hold person.
Nice.
And then the spells for Willan are Magic Missile twice and Light for first level, and then second level.
Can I just say for that, one of your characters has an amulet of light, so she probably would not. Willan would probably not.
Oh,
unless she
cool.
thinks.
No,
unless she thinks it could get lost and she wants a backup.
No, she go detect magic.
All right,
instead.
cool. Yeah, obviously this is your first read of these, so
sorry, man.
No, you're 100% good.
We've then got Clip, who is there to kind of, I think, as another fighter, so a little bit of muscle coming in, and actually a halfling fighter, third level, not bad, 18 hit points, armor class 4, so medium armor, with a short sword. I've missed out on the things anyway. I'll come back to that. A throwing dagger of self-return, and then quite a few kind of standard things for halflings that we've all got from Lord of the Rings and other bits and pieces. But interestingly, pet tortoise called Dorto.
Right.
So yeah, and fork handles.
Sorry.
So fork handles.
Is that handles for forks?
No, fork handles.
Fork handles, right? Yeah.
So yeah, strength 15 for him, and then everything else is very, very mediocre for him. Just to go back, sorry, to Willan, she has a cloak of protection +2 and a bowl of bountiful food that feeds 2 people per day.
Right.
So interestingly, interestingly though, the halfling does have enough food for 30 days, which we were just discussing is a massive backpack. Maybe some of that Samwise Gamgee has kind of lent him. It's a thing there. So Clipwise Gamgee. So
you think he's stolen them all?
Yeah, maybe. And then finally we've got Han, who is a female elf, second level. She's a split character, so fighter mage. Hit points of 9, only second level though, so that's not too bad. And again, kind of gone for. She's a relatively mediocre when it comes to this type of stuff for character wise. Slightly high intelligence of 15 and a constitution of 16, so that was obviously slightly helpful.
Yeah, but only 9 hit points, so she's not very robust.
So she'll be thing there. She has the Amulet of Light, as you said, a bag of unshelled walnuts, and then 2 first level spells, Magic Missile and Sleep.
Right, cool.
So I kind of normally, for me, I kind of use magic users as a bit of a blaster with Magic Missile, so you might see a little bit of a pattern there.
Yep.
But I thought the Sleep thing would be potentially
that's pretty versatile, because you might need it in a situation. So the pre-gens are a classic setup, aren't they? 2 fighters, cleric, thief, magic user, and then you've kind of got a backup magic user but not very good fighter, so possibly a bit, probably the weakest in the group, right? Probably Ham.
I think so, yeah. So
the magic missile's pretty good though.
Yeah,
so actually, as a magic user, not bad though.
As a magic user, very good on the thing there. So second level, more hit points than the third level one, but obviously a lot less spells. But I guess a better armor class. So theoretically won't get taken out by.
Actually, so it's a bit of a more solid. In fact, forget her as a fighter. Think of her as like a stocky magic user.
Yes, I think to be fair, it will be, if I run out of spells, it will just be. She has a sling staff, so it will be flinging those, and if anyone gets really, really close, then maybe a light tap on the bonce with that, but from a distance.
She's desperate. She can shoot those walnuts.
Yes. Maybe get them shelled by throwing if she throws them hard enough.
All right, so let's do a bit of setup, okay? So let's just assume you guys have been you're a bunch of adventurers. You're in a kind of wilderness-ish town. So
draw my sword.
Good. Yeah, you all sit at the table with your swords drawn in your teeth. But so it's kind of a wilderness area, but you're in a civilized town, right? It's a small town.
Yeah.
Maybe if you like, running north west is like a band of kind of where the civilized land is, and then north of that and east of that it starts getting a bit more wild.
Okay.
So maybe you've come back from the wilderness and you're recovering, or why, maybe, maybe why are you in this town? What's the deal with you? There's a sort of halfling town to the north. You're kind of vaguely aware of a halfling town to the northwest. You're in a town called Humpton.
Nice.
Okay, and there's a local lord here called Lord Pauldron the Brave.
Pauldron the Brave.
That's how he how he likes to people who seem to be responsible for like officious things always call him that. It seems a bit grand, like it seems to be like almost like a decree. You can't just call him Pauldron. You have to call him Pauldron the Brave.
Oh, okay, yep. PTB.
Yeah, PTB to those that know him.
Which I guess it's probably not us.
You've never met him. You've never met him.
So I think we have kind of been up in this area. Maybe when you said there's a halfling village not far away, maybe we've just come back from there.
I'd say you haven't been there.
Oh,
actually.
okay. Well, maybe we're on our way there for someone of Clip's family, maybe.
Yeah, maybe Clip is originally from Hafton.
And so I think they're quite a tight group.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, I don't know. Maybe some message came through that.
Asking him to come home or something,
or
like a relative's ill, or for whatever reason you guys are going there because Clip wants to like do some business, some family business, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So I guess your classic style. You're all in an inn.
Yeah.
So it's not a very big town. I don't know. Have you got an inn name? Where are you? I can do one if you prefer.
Polton's Arms.
Ah, right, okay. Polton the Brave Arms. Okay. So you're in this thing. You're kind of, you're all tooled up because you're in a wilderness kind of area, but you're not really expecting any trouble. So probably in this bar, there's obviously sort of normal customers and whatnot, but probably the people most notable to you are probably the barkeeper, who is a halfling. He's dressed very flamboyantly, possibly in kind of like psychedelic robes, a bit, it's almost on the verge of cross-dressing.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
He actually has a color-changing parrot on his shoulder.
Cool.
And he's quite a obviously a fairly jolly fellow. You met him on the way in. You kind of, let's just say you've come in and grabbed some seats. You haven't really done anything yet. You just kind of like rocked up.
Yeah.
You've just come off the road. You just sat down, and you're all about to decide what you're going to do next. So there seems to be a sort of a slightly kind of surly-looking serving girl who's kind of like glanced at you, but not really like come over to like help you or anything.
Yeah.
But the thing you probably mostly notice is, well, there's also a guy in the corner who's he's quite a chubby chap, and he's definitely watching. He's just kind of looking at you, probably a bit rudely, really, to be staring at you like that. But maybe it's because you're a bunch of six guys and gals are tooled up to the nines.
Yeah.
But the thing probably catching your eye at the moment the most is there seems to be a group of 6 adventurers sitting across from another table.
What?
Yeah. And you've met them before, right? And you know them to be a bunch of like pretty annoying kind of bolshy kind of individuals. They call themselves the Glorious Ravens.
The Glorious Ravens.
Yeah, that's what they call themselves. I mean, I don't know whether you guys have a title or you're just a group, but they call themselves the Glorious Ravens, and they always have a bad habit of turning up whenever you're like in a pickle.
Right.
Like one time your cart broke down, and they all came riding past on horses, and were like saying, "Oh!" Like so.
So they're fairly toffy as well. So.
Well, they did. Well, no, not really, but they didn't stop by to help you. They just kind of laughed at you and rode on, right?
Yeah.
And talking to these people, so they're on a table opposite way, and you picked the table completely opposite side of them because obviously you just thought, oh, these guys, man. There's a person sort of in some robes, and he's having a kind of a hushed conversation with them. So they're kind of a little bit preoccupied at the moment. So I don't know if you want to do anything.
Well, if we just come in, then probably we need to get some beers in, don't we? So I guess if the surly serving maid is really not that interested, then Clip's gonna wander over to the barkeep.
Okay.
and just maybe get some beers and a bit of food in
Okay.
for everybody, just to kind of get a sense if there's any rooms or anything like that at all.
Okay. So you think you might stay here? So you're just asking about
Yeah,
kind of
I think
rates.
so. If we're kind of, I think the let's say the business at Halfton is it's pressing, but it's not like you have to drop everything and run on all the other bits and pieces. So we've been kind of making our way back up that ways for a few little kind of adventures.
Well, obviously this guy's a halfling, right? So your halfling chum's going up to this halfling guy. So I don't know. Are you making any inquiries, or you just, I don't know,
secret Halfton hand signs?
Is there a secret Halfton hand sign?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not sure there's a secret. There might be I suppose there might be some chaotic evil, whatever.
There's like a H that I could do on my hand. I'm not sure.
Don't forget you're in Humpton, so in the human town. Okay, so I don't know. Are you going to ask about Halfton, or?
Yeah, just to make sure. He's just going to mention stuff there. And does he? Has he ever seen this guy before? So like, could it have been someone that was at Halfton that's kind of?
Give me a roll. I say if you're under 10 on a percentile, you know this guy.
On a percentile.
Yeah. Obviously, it's a fairly big place. Okay, you've never. Oh, what's that? Is that 9?
That's 60.
Okay.
Yeah, 60.
It's not 9, is it?
No, it's 6.
Okay, so you've never met this guy before. So I don't know. What are you going to ask him?
Just first of all, can we get some beers?
Yeah, sure.
Everything there, and maybe your serving wench if you want good reviews on travel, right?
Travel Rogue or something.
Adventure.com. So just we'll ask for kind of a round of beers and some food, just some stew or whatever. It's kind of a local thing there.
Okay, so...
And then just kind of ask him if he knows anything about Halfton, if he's been to Halfton, if he's heard news from there.
So I guess maybe there's a regional action for Halfton. So he goes, you're originally from Halfton, I see. Well, it must. How long is it since you've been back to Halfton? Obviously, a lot's happened in the last few years, right?
Oh gosh! Well, I've been away for quite a while. 10 years. 10 years.
10 years. Oh, wow. Well, it's all gone a bit pear-shaped in Halfton. I mean, there's this Aldwin Six Toes has taken over. Do you remember him? He was like the kind of deputy mayor, probably when back in your day, or possibly not even. But yeah, he's really shaken things up.
Oh gosh!
It's now it's become very, very militarized.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
Everyone's on high drill, and it all seems to be Aldwin. He seems to be behind all this. Aldwin Six Toes.
Aldwin Six Toes. Do I remember an Aldwin?
Give me a roll. I think he's a pretty famous guy, so I'd say over 50 you have. 1. That's impressive.
It's very impressive. I got silence.
So, you're like, no, never heard of Aldwin Six Toes. Right. You know, he's that guy. He's really famous for having an extra set of pinkies on his feet. 6 toes, you know.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if he just lost bits or things.
No, he's got a couple of extra grippers on each toe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's very proud of it. Although very oddly, about 5 years ago, he started to bizarrely start wearing human shoes. Or shoes, which is very odd. It's almost like he became ashamed of his toes.
That's weird, isn't it?
It is very odd, because he was very, very proud of his side grippers, and now he doesn't. Yeah. He goes around in boots all the time, or fancy handmade shoes.
What about his mum and his sister?
Sorry?
Same person.
I see. Well, I don't. You know, well, I think that family did marry in a bit. But,
okay,
but
fair enough.
Yeah, he was very.
Okay, that's interesting. So and everything's kind of got a lot more, as you say, a bit more militarized. And is there any threats for up there? And
well, of course, there's the Greeningwood Forest. Yeah, obviously that's not far away, and that's
wasn't too bad when I was there.
Well, it's always had it's never really been colonised, has it? It's always been a source of, because you know, from a recap of the region, because obviously you're obviously from the region, so Humpton is, say, here, northwest is Halfton.
Yeah.
It's only a few days away. Due north of where you are is the Greening Wood Forest. I think it's that, and that's weirdly a forested area that's sort of nestled between hills. It's almost bracketed on three sides or two sides, and that's where the wildlands begin. So it's kind of like its own little microcosm there, its little ecosystem. So it's quite a wild place. Civilized people tend to avoid it, but the halflings have very much always said it's their turf. Because there's a river that runs that sort of divides the two territories between the humans and the halflings, and they're good trading partners. They're traditionally been good neighbours, but there is that forest. So in a sense, it's always been a source of trouble. So the halflings have always kind of, and because it's on their ground, they're kind of responsible for it, and the humans tend to rely on the halflings to kind of police it as well. But every so often maybe orcs will come out of there's some old, you're vaguely aware of being an iron gate there. There used to be dwarven made, but every so often the orcs and creatures in those areas might come out of the woods. Okay. But it's definitely an unusual place, and pretty much no one goes there who hasn't got any business.
Right. Okay.
In it.
And has the incursions got more recently? Does he think?
Well, not especially, but basically, I kind of left Hafton because I kind of had a bit of an issue with Aldwyn. Well, yes, actually. Thank you for the compliment. You're very, very. You can see that I like to dress well.
Yeah, I can, man. More than you.
But yes, I left Hafton because I kind of had a run-in with Aldwyn. Be perfectly honest with you, and I didn't say this. I don't think he is who he says he is.
Oh.
I don't know who he is. I just think he's. I don't. He does nothing he says makes any sense. If you question him, he looks a bit blankly at you.
Yeah.
Like if you say you ask him about the various folklore about town.
Yeah. His lack of knowledge.
Yeah, well, he brushes it off. So I didn't say this, mind. I didn't say this.
Mum's the word, bro. Mum's the word.
I didn't say this.
It's on the DL.
But I think there's something up with Aldrin.
Do you think he could reach out even to here if that was stuff? That's quite a crazy. That's a worry for you if he could reach out that far. I mean, that's only a day or two, I know, but that's still. Mm-hmm. That's still. He's that worrisome for you.
Well, yeah, I won't go back until I know it's safe. But I'm a kind of a guy who keeps himself to himself, very shy. I don't attract attention.
You do come across that way.
And if he knows where I am, he hasn't done anything about it.
Yeah, fair enough.
And so during this conversation, his parrot's been kind of changing colours and kind of squawking a bit, but
changing colours with the conversation, or just changing colours randomly.
Well, I guess it's a bit hard to tell, but when you're talking about sort of when he's looking worried, the parrot is going kind of more of a crimson colour. Mm-hmm. When he seems to be a bit more jocular, he kind of is going a bit more blue and green. But in a sense, I suppose it's a bit like a chameleon. He seems to be, but it's a good spot. It seems to me that you think maybe the parrot is kind of mirroring.
My World Sinex, like I just did.
Keep that one. Getting Waldo, maybe he's picking up on Waldo's mood.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And does Waldo think that lots of people have had to leave? Have there kind of been classic families that I might have known about that have kind of?
Well, not everyone. Not everyone's happy with this militaristic drive that's been going on. So
I can imagine that being the best thing for halflings.
Yeah, so it's definitely a change in tone, but for the main part, he seems to have convinced people that that this is a necessary evil, but things are very much on the straight and narrow.
Yeah,
there's patrols in Hafton going up and down. People marching
down the actual streets and stuff.
Marching in lines. like columns of three, tower shields, spears, short swords.
Slightly worrying.
It's all totally unnecessary, frankly. But Alduin is definitely seems to be behind all of this, and I don't get it. And to me, summing up with Alduin, I didn't say it, mind.
No. Oh, let's say you'll hear nothing from me. And is there quite a big community of halflings here in Hunton?
Yeah, in Hunton there's basically about 9/10 of the people in the town are human, but there is because there's a lot of trade going backwards and forth, there is definitely a kind of halfling community.
Cool.
Just checking something.
Well, I think in that case we've kind of ordered food and stuff there. We've got a little bit more kind of information of the bits and pieces around. I guess obviously there's a couple of there's Fat Strider sitting in the corner.
There's Fat Strider. The mysterious stranger's talking to the glorious...
ask if Elminster's still doing. To
the glorious ravens, and they're definitely still chatting quietly, like kind of surreptitiously.
So I will just ask if. Just say, that guy's a bit grumpy. What's his problem?
He seems right. First of all, I'm not selling the parrot. Okay? If you'll come here because Popo's like saying to you, you can buy my parrot off. You can't. I'm not selling the parrot. I'm not selling the parrot.
It's not a parrot, mate. I think
the parrot's like gone kind of bright red now.
It goes so well with all your outfits.
Yes, you're right. Actually, I've got just the hat. Wait one moment.
Oh,
it disappears.
Please
show. It comes up
with
like this big kind of like pink hat that's about like 3 times bigger than it should be, and the parrot kind of sits on the top. See?
Oh, can't even see it now. It's gone. It's disappeared.
Well, anyway, I'm not selling you. I'm not selling the parrot.
I wouldn't sell that parrot either if I was you.
So you're not here. You're not here because Popo sent you, are you?
No.
Right.
We've not even seen the police.
Right. Because Popo's like heard his name, he's like pricked up a bit like this, right? And he's like looking at you.
So I kind of do my classic thing that I do when Popo are around. So I'm just gonna put
I should never pick this name.
just gonna put one hand in my pocket, just my thumb in the actual pocket, and just give him the sideways, just as I'm standing there.
Okay, so right, it just coincidentally. In this realm, he's called Popo. I'm going to change that. Note to self: change Popo.
Is it just the parrot that he's after? Is it a bit more?
Well,
is he just grumpy that he can't?
I tell you what. Why don't you go back and re-talk to him if that's what it's all about? But I think you'll find that he is an exotic pet collector.
Oh, really?
And he likes my colour changing parrot. I'm not selling Quink. Quink is mine. He's family.
Why would you sell Quink?
Exactly. I'm not selling him.
I wouldn't sell him either. I don't.
You've got a pet tortoise, don't you? Thinking about it.
I do actually. Yeah. Bring up my pet tortoise. This is Dorto.
Do people in Hafton keep very fond of their pets? Are they?
I think they probably are.
Maybe they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it's like a little England.
People
supposedly, but there's by sounds of it now, everyone's using their pets.
So Popo's heard his name far too many times, so he comes over and says, "If he's made an offer for that parrot, I'll double it."
Well, I think that's just between me and Waldo.
I'll triple it. I'll triple it.
And actually, this is halfling DL stuff. So right. You can try, but I mean, our pockets are fairly deep if you're going to be doing that type of stuff, dude. So, maybe you need to go and find something else.
Tell you what, come over here. Let's have a chat. Let's have a chat.
Than this young man's colour changing parrot, because actually, to be fair, up in Hafton, colour changing parrots, dime a dozen.
Are they?
Yeah, for real.
I was up there last week and I didn't see any colour changing parrots.
Maybe they're all just the same colour as the people wearing stuff there.
To be fair, I've heard there's quite a large group of them in the Greening Coombe Forest.
Greening Coombe Forest.
Greening Coombe Forest. And actually, if you could get me, I'll tell you what, sir. I've obviously stepped into this conversation at completely the wrong time. This is obviously just some sort of like family reunion or something between you little people. But I'm my name is Popo, and I'm a collector of rare exotic animals. God, Jesus Christ!
Doesn't smell something around him, man.
Oh man. Okay.
Bacon products, maybe.
Okay, his name's Dopo.
You know what his name is, man.
Anyway, so he basically says
The police.
he basically says to you, if you can get me one of these parrots from the Green and Coombe Forest, I'll pay handsomely. And he also says, actually, why I came here originally, before I saw this parrot and found out more about it, is that in the Green and Coombe Forest there are, well, frankly, blink squirrels.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty confident these animals can be tamed. And if you can get me a breeding pair of blink squirrels, once again, I would reward you very handsomely.
I think we'd have to first of all see where you were going to be keeping these things, just to make sure they'd be okay when we get back.
Right. Okay. Well,
because we don't want PETA coming to.
Well, you have to knights who are very, very defensive of your animals. He goes, but sir, I would take exemplary care of them, because I would be I'd be selling them, and I'd be in my interest to sell these to the very influential
so
and famous.
You're not a collector then. You're a purveyor.
Well, yes. I
exotic animals.
Yes, I collect these animals and I breed them and I sell them on to other people like me who are interested in these fine, interesting animals.
Fair enough. Well, we'll take that under advice.
Right. Okay. Well, if you need me, I'm staying in the inn.
Oh, cool.
I'll be here for probably another 10 days.
Fair enough.
And if I can't, I've approached those fine lads over there, the Glorious Ravens.
Yep.
And they've also, fair warning to you, whoever brings me back a set of blink squirrels or colour changing parrots first, I will of course reward them very, very well.
Well, the only thing I would say is those guys, just make sure if it is a parrot, it's not a dressed up rat.
What?
Yeah, for real. Those guys, they're rapscallions, man. Those guys, man.
Them?
Yeah, for real.
That.
Honestly, I've seen them put.
You've met them before?
Yeah, we've met them a few times. I've seen them put rings of invisibility on snakes and stuff, and then as it falls off, kind of flashes, blinks in and out, stuff there. So they're nutters. They're absolute nutters.
And he points to the guy in the hat. This guy goes, but Deck, he seems so nice.
No.
Okay. So anyway,
he's also known as Dirty Deck.
Oh wow, one of them's called Sticky.
Yeah, there you go, Sticky Fingers.
Well,
everybody's known.
So these are the guys. You might as well see them. So this is Deck.
Yep.
Okay. He looks like a bit of a chancer. You know him as a fighter.
Yep.
Sticky's a halfling. He's clearly like light-handed.
Yep.
Light-fingered. Volk, she's a half orc. She's basically always looks pretty,
just a bit grumpy,
bit aggressive. You're pretty sure she's a cleric. Then there's Nyx, who is a gnomish magic user.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, you've got a gnomish magic user.
They're all exactly the same so far. Almost.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Then we said my guy's a dwarf.
Yeah, and then there's Scratch, who's a dwarven fighter who seems to always be.
So, if he knows all of their names, just the reason why it's called Scratches. So just don't sniff his fingers. If you shake his hand, wash your hands afterwards. Make sure you cleaned up, mate.
Okay. And there's Talloon, who you're pretty confident is some sort of elf. Well, she's an elf, and you're not. You think she might be a bit sort of. Your rest of your other magi think she might be like in the arcane arts.
Yeah.
So they're still chatting, but just because Popo, who's going to be changed later, is asking that. So okay, he looks a bit concerned.
Yeah, I would be as well, man. Honestly, whatever those guys have said,
So he picks up one of the beers you've ordered, this Popo, and starts drinking it because he's like absentmindedly kind of like. And while you're talking about these adventures, the parrot is going a kind of deep red color, and you can see that Waldo is looking nervous while he's hearing all this like salacious talk.
Kind of wink at him just to put him at ease.
Oh,
Nothing there.
Oh,
yeah.
Later. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
No.
And then he tops your drink up with some more
Yeah, nice.
some more booze.
Some strawberry daiquiri.
Okay, so he says, "Oh, I better be getting on." So he whips his like floral gown with like tie dye and colourful things, and seems to then busy himself, and he starts calling over to the servant girl, "Sally, Sally, Sally," and she looks kind of a bit peeved that she's been like yelled over, kind of across the way, but she comes and starts doing some like stuff.
Good. Get her working. Kind of these low-paid people doing nothing, scrounging off the state.
Right.
Cool. Okay, cool. So I think we introduced to quite a few people there.
Mm-hmm.
Did he? I guess we got kind of overly kind of absorbed with Popo. So I guess he didn't mention Elminster or anything like that at all.
No, Elminster. Never heard of him.
Oh, got it.
I've seen a different part of the realms.
Okay, cool.
So, what, you're going to take your beers back?
Yeah,
or?
Clip will take the beers back. We'll wait for a bit of food, have a bit of chat amongst ourselves. I will obviously he's going to mention to the rest of the group about
showing it. Okay.
Yeah, about the he's going to kind of say he's not that intelligent, is he?
No, he's not so bright.
So
maybe a little bit lost in translation, but
yeah,
but he's conveyed that but you don't really have any business in Greencombe Forest, and you kind of know it's a bit of a dodgy place.
Yeah.
So it's probably unlikely that appeals. But I guess you tell them like,
yeah, for real, just
because he did offer big money, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, he didn't actually say how much it was going to be. He just said big money, and he might just be trying to impress what he thinks is kind of like wilderness yokels or whatever. So and I think also at the moment, like Clip is fairly. I think hearing all of this stuff as well about his kind of hometown, potential family and other bits and pieces, probably just I'm a little bit worried.
Maybe
about
this
stuff,
is the news
so
you heard. It's something
maybe.
maybe one of your cousins being pressed into
service or whatever,
into
the brown coats or whatever
into the military, whatever it is. Anyway, so the servant girl comes over and like brings you some fodder.
Yeah.
Again, she's looking quite miserable. She's like starts putting it out like this.
Oh, thank you so much. That's really kind of you. Thank you for bringing that over.
Okay.
Just ask her if she's all right.
Okay, she kind of looks at you and says, "I can turn you to stone with my mind."
Ooh,
Like looks at you like this.
that's exciting. Saliusa.
Huh?
Saliusa.
Saliusa.
Medusa. Saliusa.
Well, actually, so you called her Sally, did you?
Yeah, well, you called her over.
Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, she does turn to you and say, "My name is Medusa."
Ooh, that's very exotic.
How do you... What business have you been to call me Sally?
Well, because we didn't know that your real name was Medusa. I'm so sorry.
Actually, I'm just curious. Why did you come up with Medusa?
Turn us to stone.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay. Yes, I guess so. But it's just the word Sally Medusa. Anyway.
Saliusa.
Saliusa.
Yeah. Maybe you could warn people. Saliusa.
I don't get the Saliusa. It's just like
Medusa just on the. I was trying to think of something.
Okay, that's fine. I just make sure I'm not
rubbish.
listening. Anyway, she says, "Yes, I am Medusa."
Ooh, that's cool.
And then Waldo's, Sally, get out of here. We need some more. We need more stew. So he wanders over back to the bar.
Fair enough. She seems a bit grumpy. Should we do that kind of classic cheer up, love, it might never happen? I think we're probably best not to. So I guess we'll tuck in. I guess Elminster's still talking to
Mysterious Stranger. The Mysterious Stranger is still talking to the
the Ravenclaw guys.
Glorious Ravens.
Ravenclaws.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess we're just going to chat around. So we kind of chat around the bits and pieces.
Mm-hmm.
He will kind of mention about the slightly, just to see if other people can kind of come up with anything else, nothing there. Though it kind of sounds like Waldo's thoughts have kind of already kind of said if he's suddenly halfling wearing shoes.
So what's the big point you're saying? Obviously, you covered going into the forest and maybe collecting.
Yeah,
stuff.
maybe, but I think that's.
But you mentioned that. I mean,
yeah,
just
mentioned
covered it.
it.
So what else?
What else? And then just about the sudden change in Halfton, so becoming very militaristic.
Yeah.
Slightly kind of almost sounds slightly fascistic as well, doesn't it? Really, stuff there. He's got things marching up and down. Him being really, really scared of anything getting back at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And also maybe being driven out of town. So maybe there's a little bit of homophobia there. Maybe just guessing a thing there.
Yeah.
So maybe it's that kind of thing there. They might not like immigrants as well.
Yep.
Hopefully, we won't have to get a boat there.
There is a river.
I'm hoping there's just bridges. So we'll see if we can find
send the adventurers back.
Yeah. And then just kind of go on about how the bits and pieces with the halfling leader not remembering kind of what should, especially being deputy leader or deputy mayor before, knowing like local folklore and other bits and pieces. I don't particularly remember him.
Mm-hmm. Do you have no memory? Okay,
I'm relatively dense, but
yeah, that's true. And
so if it wasn't in my immediate vicinity, I guess I kind of wasn't that fussed.
And his name is what?
His name is Aldwin Sixtoes.
Aldwin Sixtoes. Okay.
He's wearing shoes now for halfling.
Yeah, and
even for me, that's
you find that pretty sus.
Yeah, for real. Everyone likes to see your hairs.
So Aldwin Sixtoes. Okay,
yeah.
Well, that's a bit of. Is that a common family name in Hafton?
Only for one family.
Very close, yeah. Very tight knit. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So you're obviously conveying all this stuff over, right? And then there's a bit of a kerfuffle over on the other table, and the mysterious stranger approaches you, and he says, greeting. The mysterious stranger is wearing a mask that covers their whole face, and it's a bit hard to tell exactly who this mysterious stranger is, but you're guessing from their body language, probably male, probably fairly elderly.
Okay.
You can't really tell, but
why has he got his hood up? Because he's buck ugly.
Like,
so I can do lots of film things. But I say lots of film things. It's almost entirely Hot Fuzz. Sorry.
Oh, right, that's from Hot Fuzz, is it? Okay. So he kind of approaches you and says, "Are you interested in a mission that pays incredibly well?"
Is it delivering Avon? With the face mask that you've got all the stuff there, so how come the mask, dude?
Okay, well, have you got any? Can you think of a reason why he might be wearing the mask?
Because he's fuck ugly.
Okay, so you think he's fuck ugly? You all look around and go, he's fuck ugly. And
I say, to be fair, so I guess who's the most charismatic? It's probably the elf. The gnome. Sorry. We just go, well, speaking for us all, I'm not necessarily the leader or anything like that at all, but we do prefer to see the face of people that we're dealing with and stuff there. So if you're offering all of this stuff, then we like to have everything on a level and even playing field. You can see all of our faces.
Okay, and he kind of like records a bit, and you conclude that maybe his visage is so repulsive that he seems unwilling to expose his face.
It's all good, dude. Sit down, it's all fine. We've seen and done worse things to people's faces.
Yeah. Okay. So it doesn't look like he wants to budge on the face mark but he does say he works for Pauldron the Brave.
Oh,
and
PTG.
Yeah, and he says that he can't discuss it any further tonight, and he kind of like he says that Pauldron is incredibly wealthy and he has a mission that will pay incredibly well if you would or if you could come tomorrow morning to the palace, and if you use the code Red Wing Green Tail, guards will escort you directly to the thing, but you must be prepared to leave immediately for the mission. It is of a high priority and will be paid incredibly well.
But what type of mission is
I
it?
can say no more.
Oh,
I can say no
so
more.
close. We almost had you there. And what's your name?
Um,
So if someone asks us where we got this password from,
I just work for the Lord.
you Masco McMasterson.
That's my name. I work.
How did I know that? I didn't even read it. I didn't even read it.
I work. My duties are exclusively to assist the Lord in his day-to-day running of his fiefdom, and he asked me to seek out adventurers to take on this quest, and I've spoken to the glorious ravens, but so far they have been reluctant to take this quest. And to be honest with you, you seem a far more proficient group of adventurers.
Okay.
They seem a little bit
Lackluster jackdaws. I think that's their actual name.
lackluster jackdaws,
Yeah.
rather than glorious. No, their name is the glorious ravens.
No, that's what they tell people. But the real name.
And do you find gentlemen go by any kind of group name?
The firm.
Okay, well, if the firm will just turn up tomorrow, and the money involved will be eye-watering, I assure you. Lord Pauldron has very deep pockets, and this mission is very important to him. Say nothing to no one.
Okay. We'll try not to.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. So at that point, he he takes a look around the room, and he leaves.
Oh, okay.
Unless you want to talk to him.
Well, no, it doesn't seem like he wants to say anything anyways. Seems quite miserable, to be fair.
Right, yeah.
Maybe Saliusa has actually turned his face to stone.
Oh,
Maybe she is a Medusa.
I guess you could ask her.
Yeah, I will.
Will you? You could call her over.
Was there anything... So, you said there was a little bit of a commotion and stuff when he left the lackluster jackdaws.
Yeah.
Was there anything that kind of we overheard or anything like that at all?
Not really. Just, I mean, you're not quite sure what's going on, but you do know that they're basically kind of bolshy, kind of. Basically, they're kind of. They're basically a bunch of arseholes. They don't, they've obviously been drinking. Maybe they were mocking him about his mask. I don't know, but they were.
Oh, what was the mask? Sorry.
Well,
what was it?
Just
Was
like
it just a blank mask?
like a black lacquered mask.
Okay. No patterns or anything like that on it.
Well, it had a face, basically on it.
But nothing
Nothing
out of the ordinary, or
not well. I mean, in a sense, it was like a human face on it, but it had a kind of maybe a whimsical, basically a very something you couldn't quite put your finger on.
Right.
Basically, in fact, it was very forgettable.
Okay. Deliberate.
Possibly.
Cool. So I guess we'll call over Saliusa if she'll come over.
So what are you saying?
Saliusa.
No, she's just like she's looking like this at you over her shoulder and starts like busily like clearing up some dishes.
Medusa.
She's like this. She comes over. Yes. What can I do for you?
What was that with that dude? Masco McMasterson.
Well, he works for Lord Pauldron the Brave.
Ooh.
He is. I believe that he's a very powerful herbalist like myself.
Oh.
And I've many times tried to convince him to take me on as his apprentice, but so far he has not.
To be fair, he could be protected from the stone gaze thing with his mask.
I turn to people's stone with my mind.
But could it reflect it? Maybe that, or maybe he's worried that it might not.
Well,
and if he tells you off for doing something wrong and stuff there, he might be worried that you might turn. So maybe, just be like really nice to him.
No, he's
He seems all right.
I'm improving my craft. I go to the Greencombe Forest to find my herbs, and one day I will convince him that I am worthy to to become his apprentice, or I shall convince Lord Pauldron that he should appoint me as
chief herbalist and stone collector,
as the as apprentice to the mysterious stranger, because he has authority to tell him what to do.
The masked herbalist.
Mm.
Well, if we go anywhere near the old Green Combe Forest, do you want us to grab you anything?
What do you mean?
Well, like herbs or anything. Just if we're going that way.
Well,
we will not be back for a while, but if there's something there...
I don't think you have the skill or wit to understand what you're looking for.
Okay, just if we go in quite deep, this thing there might be something that you wanted. We could maybe just have a look.
No. I mean,
up to you.
If anything, I'd be more used to you as a guide than anything, frankly.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe if we go on a mission or anything, maybe we'll give you a nudge. If you wanted. Only if you wanted.
I do have my duties, of course.
Yeah.
Stop scraping the plates.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you are quite dedicated to those.
Mm-hmm.
You do look like you you enjoy it as well. So we won't want to take you away from that.
Yeah. Okay. So she unless anything more, she can kind of like.
No, I don't think so. Sorry, man. I was just kind of digging very slightly there just to see.
Yeah.
But interestingly, she's a wannabe herbalist.
Yeah, and sounds like she wants to work for the mysterious stranger, but he has declined to take her on.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
And maybe she's just too happy for him. Fair enough.
Obviously a little bit quirky, right?
Yeah. So I guess only the lackluster jackdaws are the kind of last people that we haven't really spoken to properly.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of, I guess we were there for a little bit anyways, if we got nothing until tomorrow morning anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So we can maybe have, just see if they're getting more and more plastered.
Pretty much.
Yeah, are they on it?
And they're kind of like ignoring you. They obviously seen you. It's a bit like, I don't know, imagine you've been to a school and there's a couple of guys there you didn't get on with and they're in the pub.
Yeah.
You're kind of like, well, I could go speak to them, but
let's not bother.
I don't really like them. So they seem to be kind of deliberately.
It's kind of like when you see me in the pub.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. Spot on.
Oh man, not again.
Why is he always in the white bear, man?
Okay, cool. So I guess at some point, no, I think we'll just leave that just a thing there if we see them when we see them. Yeah, we won't have too much just to make sure that we're not, if we are going to go through this thing tomorrow. I guess we can see what it is. We don't have to accept it.
Yep.
Although there is a little bit that really worries that we'll go and say that and then get chucked in jail for taking a rip out of Masker at Maskerson or something. So kind of fallen for that one before. So
you're gonna cut to the morning?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we'll have a chat with just as we kind of go, just general chats with Waldo.
Technically, it's Weldo, but we can do Waldo.
Weldo. I did wonder if you deliberately put Waldo, but Weldo. And just kind of, I think, just say, look, we're staying the night. We're going to go see if there's anything kind of big that needs to be done. I think so. And then we'll yeah.
Get an early night?
Yeah, I think get an early night, yeah.
Okay, so get up the next morning, probably, I guess, fairly early, because you're adventurous, you probably get up early.
Yeah.
Waldo, like, you can exchange some coins for stay and whatnot, and he does your typical, hearty feast, halfling style.
Yeah.
No one else there in the, apart from, in fact, even Medusa. She's not there. Seems to be pretty empty. Maybe she comes on shift later. So just you guys.
Yeah. All right. We will just kind of say how if it is just us, and hopefully he'll kind of stay and chat and other bits and pieces, just ask him how kind of honourable he feels that PTB is, and whether he kind of
no, Pauldron.
Sorry,
Lord Pauldron the Brave.
Yeah, PTB. Whether he kind of, whether he's kind of, obviously we don't know him at all, so whether he's kind of known for reneging on stuff, or if he's kind of quite consistent with things.
I mean, I guess
given to fits of fancy and kind of being slightly naughty.
So I guess the general vibe is that he's a bit haughty, but he seems like fairly even keel. He's the impression you get is like he's a typical slightly aloof lord who basically enjoys himself, but collects taxes, but doesn't really take a great interest in
the peasantry.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And has he got any kind of what would be considered, I guess, kind of vested interests, or has he got anything that's kind of pressing him that you're aware of, or anything like that at all?
Well, I mean, I guess the things you learn about him are he's been the lord of this place for about 20 years. In his early history, he had some elder twin sisters who disappeared in the Greening Forest, and so he became the heir when they disappeared. They trade extensively with the halflings. In fact, if anything, they rely on the halflings to keep them safe.
Yeah.
And he likes hunting. He's got like down south, but in days travel, he has a very large walled garden, which is basically where he likes to go hunting. Like he'll catch boars and things, and they'll release them, and he'll take his horse around there and go hunt them.
Okay.
So he kind of fancies himself as a brave hunter, and he has a poet that's like almost on the role who writes grand poems about how brave he is.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Are we sure his name is not Putin?
No, it's Pauldron.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Kind of. Yeah. So almost like just a standard kind of what everyone considers the nobles to be, really. Yeah. I guess nothing there. So
it seems to be. The vibe you get is that he doesn't really associate with the common guys. He's got people to do that for him.
Right. Okay. Cool. Well, I guess we'll wander off to the palace.
So the mysterious stranger did say be packed, ready to go.
Yeah.
So are you doing that? Or
yeah, we'll take our stuff on the thing there. So I mean, yeah, because
I guess if you don't like it, you might be heading to Hafton.
Yeah, right? It depends. I think it will just depend on what it is. We've heard a couple of bits and pieces from people. I guess Saliusa has missed out on the chance to get for us to go and collect 5 pieces of herbs for a side quest.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, if it's something that's kind of maybe on the way, then possibly it can be something. If it's something, I think the kind of the general party consensus will be, let's have a look, see what it is. If it's something that kind of we can do along the way, then we'll do it. If it's something that takes us too far out of the way, then clearly we're still going towards Hafton. All
right. So you get to the obviously you're working your way through town. It's pretty obvious where the palace is. It's quite a grand building, and most of it's a kind of frontierish town. So it's not that wealthy, but obviously you can tell this palace is quite a lot of money's been spent over the years. So you figure that must be the right place. As you're walking towards, give us a roll actually. See what you get. So I'll give you D20.
4.
Okay, so you just make your way to the palace, and you don't you don't have any kind of like perception that you that anything's awry. It just seems a nice, pleasant day. It's quite nice sunny. So you get to the
I think
to the gate.
of all the people, probably Bardet is just going to keep a lookout just for any of the
Okay.
flaccid jackdaws.
Okay.
Just to see if,
all right. In that
just to make
case,
sure there's no kind of...
so he's basically you think that the glorious ravens might be tailing you. So
maybe.
What? So
does
he nip down in an alley or something and sort of hide in shadows or something?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Okay, give us a roll. I think your stats are 35 on it.
30.
30. Okay, so you slip in. Oh, that's 14.
Yeah.
Okay, so you slip into the shadows, and you wait there because you think these idiots are going to kind of like give you some grief, and you do basically notice that there are actually 3 people following you. You're pretty certain of it, but it isn't the glorious ravens.
Ooh. Is it anybody that we know?
You haven't seen these folks before, but 2 of them definitely look pretty well kitted out. Basically, they're pretty heavily armoured. But there is oddly an old lady following along with them.
Actually, with them?
It's clearly with them, yes, because she seems to be like got one of the bloke got his ear and kind of like whispering something into him intently. And he's sort of like, give me a roll for a listen.
Oh, okay, yep.
Yes, you try to hear what's being said.
Hey.
Ooh. And you can then say, "Not now, mother, not now, no. I have changed my undergarments. Yes, I have. And no, but it seems that the chap, this guy, and his mother, are obviously together, and then there seems to be this other lady walking, but they seem to be following the rest of you guys.
Do they look nefarious? Or do they just look intent?
They're clearly following you, and I would say, judging by the way it doesn't seem to be just curiosity. They seem to have an interest. Whether you can only assume that it's not. You can't. I guess you just assume it can't be good, right? Why are these guys following you?
Yeah.
People don't follow you if they have some business with you. They would talk to you, right?
Well, maybe, but the thing there. So, and did he catch the guy's name at all when the mother was talking to him?
Yeah. Okay. So his name is Belnar.
Belnar.
Yeah, and he called.
It's almost like you just laying him up for me to.
Belnar. And the old lady, he just seems to call her mother.
Yeah.
In fact, let's just say you also hear the other person's name is Donna.
Donna.
Yeah, just Donna. Yeah, Donna.
Okay. Yeah. So I think the guys, obviously the rest of the group is still kind of running on.
Yeah.
They haven't got drawn weapons or anything like that at all.
Every so often they pretend to like look at some apples and like pretend to like be doing some other business, but they clearly, as a thief, you're very aware that they're following you.
They're tracking us.
Not very well.
So, yeah.
Not very well, but to you guys, I guess you think you're fairly safe. It's only Bardet, who's a little bit more
suspicious.
Yeah, he's naturally suspicious. So he thought those bloody glorious ravens are bound to have. You don't trust it. You didn't see hide nor hair of them in the inn.
Yeah.
So either they're sleeping off the booze. I mean, you would have expected at least one to be there, maybe.
Yeah.
But you're not sure. But then they're not around. So you were suspicious, but you didn't see what you thought it was.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I reckon that he'll start following them.
Following them, okay.
Buy an apple.
Yep.
And then kind of just walk a bit quicker than them. And as he goes by, is it Belner End?
Belner. Just Belner.
He'll just say, "Oh, Kebab told me to give you this."
Who?
Kebab.
Kebab.
Donna.
Okay.
And just say to the mother, "I don't think he's changed his pants at all."
I knew it! I knew it!
And then just carry on walking through and say,
Okay,
"Guys, stop following us."
Okay, so
And just walk through. So he's not. So he's just kind of he's
let
just
them know.
going to make them know that we're aware of them.
Okay.
And if you guys want to chat to us, just come and chat to us. Otherwise, off.
Okay, so obviously they realise the game's up. So first of all, you give the apple. They're kind of a little bit like who are you giving it to? But I guess it doesn't matter.
Bellner end.
Bellner. So he obviously he takes the apple and like for a minute there they think not sure whether this is just a coincidence, but then you pretty much makes it clear that you're following them. So as you go to like walk off, he just puts his hand on your shoulder and just says, "What business do you have with the Lord?"
Wow.
Lord Pauldron.
Bird business.
Bird business.
Yeah.
What's bird business?
It's about wings and tails.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you say bird business. Okay, and he looks a bit confused, and Donna just turns around, pokes you, and says, "That's what a werewolf would say." And she really stares at you.
Was it a full moon last night?
Well, was it?
Well, was it?
Was it? Let's find out.
Who knows?
Okay, so it's a 30, is it? So
yes, it would be.
well, let's say roll me. Yeah, let's roll a 20. You roll 20, and
Yeah.
if that's how many days away it is from a full moon.
Okay.
Obviously, a 20 is none.
8.
Okay, so
Not
no,
that close, really, is it?
no, but it's not far off. 8 days away from the full moon.
Yeah.
So no.
So you change your clothes, though.
I told that time you do you and change your clothes now.
Well, is that because when you last transformed, you haven't changed your clothes since then?
Oh, you think I'm a werewolf?
Well, accusing other people of being a werewolf is what a werewolf would say.
Okay. Donna pokes you again and says, "That's what a werewolf would say."
Yeah, I know. This is a silver dagger.
Have you got a silver dagger?
Maybe. I've got a belt of daggers.
Right. Well, give me a 6 and one of them silver.
A 6?
Yeah.
That's
If you
a
got
bit hard.
6 on D6. I think it's pretty.
A belt of daggers.
But one silver?
Yeah, 100%.
Go on then. Let's see it. No. But you pull one out anyway?
Yeah.
Okay.
Silver dagger. Start picking my teeth.
And you say it's a silver dagger?
Yeah, silver dagger.
Okay. Well, Bellner does actually pull out a silver dagger and goes, "That's not a knife. That's a silver knife."
Put my thumb on it.
You put your thumb on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
That's not what a werewolf would do.
Okay, so
Bring it, sheesh.
Donna's like gets into a little huddle there. They're just having a chat.
Just to say, guys, werewolves would be able to hear what you're saying.
Yeah. So
Just saying.
and then Bellner goes, "But you did hear what we said."
Yeah, 100%. Because you weren't talking in whispers, dickhead.
Right, fair enough. Anyway, so they get a bit of a huddle and they say, "Okay, you're not a werewolf,
Thank you. I was worried for a minute.
but
Dwarven werewolf. What a nightmare.
but you're going to the Lord's palace, and we think he is a werewolf."
Oh, okay. Have you guys seen a program called Supernatural?
No,
Because you guys look like the really rubbish
I
guys from there.
I haven't seen. I don't
Remember
have.
what they're called? Oh my god, that's rubbish! I could have done something really cool there.
I don't have a.
Supernatural is really cool. Anyways, there's a Ghost Hunters. I think they may be the thing there. So, but they're really rubbish at doing anything and compared to the real hunters. Digress slightly. To be fair though, I kind of get the feeling that you think everybody is a werewolf.
So there's a lot of it around. We've been tracking a werewolf in this area for probably the last month.
20 minutes.
And we think all indications are that Lord Pauldron is a werewolf, and we think you work for him.
Well, we don't work for him because we just got here. Which you probably saw yesterday, if you were doing anything
But
proper.
you immediately spoke to the mysterious stranger. We need a name for the
Well,
mysterious.
I mean, he came over to us, to be fair.
And you're now headed to the palace, as
Yep.
we suspected.
About birds.
Or wolves, maybe.
Well, birds.
Okay, well, I can see that you're not a werewolf.
That's very kind of you. Thank you. How do I know that you're not a werewolf?
Okay, so...
You can do the thumb prick?
Okay, well, I guess they'll do the thumb prick.
Nice.
So Belna goes to prick his and Mother goes, no, don't do it! Don't do it, Belna! You cause yourself a terrible mischief! He's like, not now, Mother! And like pokes his finger and like nothing. And then same with Donna.
Yep.
So you're pretty convinced they're not werewolves.
What about the mother?
He says, I'm not stabbing my mother.
I'll stab her for you.
Okay, so he doesn't look very happy about this idea. Okay, so he says...
But sometimes, I've heard werewolves are really worried about people changing their pants.
I'm not going to stab my mother. She's like 90 years old.
She can stab herself.
No.
Just a thumb prick.
Anyway, so she looks like she's going to like faint or something. So anyway, so it doesn't look like Belna's willing to stab his own mother with a knife.
I bet Donna will though.
But you can see she's still thinking about it. But she's not. They basically they say, I guess let's have a roll. Let's see if they think that you are legit, that you're not working, that you have no prior connection to the Lord, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they say, all right, we think Lord Pauldron's a werewolf, and if you get a chance, we think you should kill him.
Ooh.
So we are basically, they say we're basically hunting this werewolf because they show these scars. They say the werewolf took out. I've been attacked by a werewolf, took my eye out. This is Donna, and Belna's got some really like scratches on her face, and they said they both have been victims of werewolf attacks, and they're basically professional, if you like, werewolf hunters, and
is it just the bite of a werewolf that?
Well, I don't think you automatically get lycanthropy if you're bitten or attacked, and you can be. If you're treated in time, you can also be cured. But
yeah,
they both said they'd been attacked by a werewolf. You're not quite sure if it's the same event. Possibly, judging by the wounds, they look kind of possibly.
Was it at home, and was your mum there?
Oh man. So, well, I guess you can ask, but it seems, yeah. Anyway, so they basically say they basically want to kill the werewolf that did this to them, and they've been following it, and they think that the only reasonable explanation is Lord Pauldron, and they want you to.
Well, I think
kill him.
To be fair, chaps, you thought that I was a werewolf, and you're about to think there. So I would.
Only because you work for Lord Pauldron.
I would. Well, we don't work for Lord Pauldron, and I would suggest that perhaps. Even in the wilderness, we need a little bit more evidence than I reckon.
Well, why don't you stab him with this silver dagger?
Well, why don't you stab your mum with a silver dagger first?
I'm not stabbing my mother with the damn dagger.
There you go. It's the thing there. So.
Bill, no, they want this awful little man has killed me. Get him away.
What you could have done is used a bit from Shaun of the Dead there. I'm not shooting my mum.
Oh, there we go. I don't have these cultural references, man. I don't remember any films. Remember? Anyway, so he suggests that maybe you should find out. He said, okay, they basically proposition say we think he's a werewolf. Be careful, and if you can prove it, tell us, because basically we're not 100% sure, but we want to kill him.
Okay,
because we think he's a werewolf.
Well, I think my advice to you would be that this type of stuff there, normally they hide their tracks pretty well, don't they? So, and being in such a position of power, whilst I agree would allow you to get away with an awful lot of stuff,
Yep.
if you don't have overwhelming evidence, and also even if you do have evidence, to then try and do something against someone of that position of power is going to be very, very difficult, no matter what you kind of thing there. So you need to think about it long and hard before you make an accusation toward people.
Well, they said, well, we kind of did make that accusation, and we're not allowed in the palace.
How odd! Was it because you hadn't changed your underpants? Looking at you, Belland.
Well, Belna. I have changed my underpants, mother. So my undergarments.
Maybe your mum should check.
She looks like she's like reaching down to like. She's like, no, mother. Okay, so they realise that the jig is up, but they do say, no, they're sincere and serious. They really obviously believe.
They believe what they believe.
I mean, so I guess the big picture is
they got red MAGA caps on as well.
No, no, they don't. They haven't got any make Cauldron great again.
Yeah,
Mappa. Anyway,
Maha.
They
make
so I guess that
great again.
So they, obviously they sincerely believe there's a werewolf operating in the area.
Mm-hmm. Well, what evidence do they have for that, though? I mean, when were they attacked? The scars, I guess.
The scars are very, very old. But,
yeah.
I mean, I guess you're not. I mean, yeah, it's a good question. What evidence? I guess they only get evidence every month, right?
Mm.
So I'm guessing they think there's been attacks, and they must think that there's an epicenter around the palace, or the only person they can't get to is this guy, and he's I guess some other things. I think the Pauldron crest is a wolf head on a golden disc.
Okay.
They say that seems a bit suspect.
I'm sure it'd be a silver disc if it was the moon.
Well, it's on a golden
rather
disc.
than the sun.
Yeah, it's true. But it is, and they just think it seems, the disappearance of his two sisters, that seems to their own mind a little bit weird.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're basically.
To be fair, I agree with that. That is a bit weird. That's started ringing alarm bells. But is that one of those kind of classic noble inheritance, kind of sibling, kind of nastiness stuff going on that they all do to each other?
Yeah, I mean, why were these girls in the forest, and then disappearing? It's all a little bit weird.
Fair enough. I guess we need to know where to contact them if
a black wolf head on a disc of burnished gold. They say they'll find you.
Oh, so any secret code words?
Are you a werewolf?
It seems like a classic one. I mean, I guess yes. Okay. I do look at them and go, but do stab your mum.
I'm not stabbing my mum. What kind of animal are you? Did you stab your own mother?
No.
Well then.
But I didn't think she was a werewolf.
My mum's not a werewolf.
How do you guys know? There's always in those areas. How do you guys know?
Belna's thinking. So Donna's like glancing at her mother again, and mother's like looking a bit pale and like a little bit scared, like someone might actually stab her. Anyway, but Donna goes, I told you, Belna, we need to send your mother back home. I don't know why you ever agreed to let her follow us. She's like just dragging us down, and like she's like gets up late, and they start bickering about their mother, and so they start wandering off.
Just saying, sheesh. That's what a werewolf would say. They walk off to the thing.
That's what a werewolf would say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Apart from they know you're not a werewolf.
But they don't know that mum's not a werewolf.
I don't think people go around standing there stabbing their own mums, but there we go. Right. Where are we? Okay, so you get. I guess you rejoin your chaps.
Yeah.
I presume you like whistle and say.
Yeah.
So what are you going to tell them? What's your
summary?
So
I think there's some very amateur hunters around, I guess, who seem to think that PTB is a werewolf.
PTB's a werewolf?
Yeah, no, they seem to think that, but to be fair, they didn't even know if they were werewolves. So, and they thought I was a werewolf. So, and they don't know that their mum's not a werewolf.
Right. Thinking of which, they did offer you the silver dagger. Did you take it?
Yes, absolutely.
You do have a collection of daggers.
Yep. And a silver dagger.
And you now have a silver dagger because I guess you're fairly light-fingered, right? So you'd probably have
distract them.
Kept it.
What about up there? What about up there? Silver dagger.
Actually, I hadn't really thought about this test for a werewolf, but what would happen if you stabbed a werewolf with a silver
I
dagger?
don't know.
Because that's how you can kill a werewolf, right?
Yeah.
Or would it automatically?
Would it hurt, maybe? And I don't know. But then you could just pretend it didn't hurt, or you could pretend it hurt.
And if it did hurt, but it would hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's like if you drown, you're a witch.
Yeah. Right.
No, if you don't drown, you're a witch.
Yes, but if you do,
drown,
well,
yeah, well,
never mind, eh?
yeah.
Okay. I thought I was looking up something about these lycanthrope hunters. I mean, they look pretty experienced. Actually, just for the record, they didn't look
really?
Okay.
You know, sorry, I got the impression that they were really amateurish.
No, they don't look too bad.
Yeah,
they're not.
I guess maybe just fanatical.
Yeah, I mean,
they've obviously been hurt by them with some personal kind of things. Maybe lost people or whatever. Not the mum, unfortunately.
You got the impression she's tagging along to make sure the Belner is safe, like she's
pants.
like what? You know,
maybe she's trying to set them up.
Maybe she, she's sort of like,
maybe she's
what would happen if? What would happen if if a an ogre, a gorgon tore you to ribbons and you weren't wearing clean underpants?
Yeah, for real. Go wear new pants every day just in case.
Okay, so tell me what you're telling your chaps.
A little bit suspicious. I did think that the lackluster jackdaws were going to be following us, but they don't seem to have been there. However, you see these guys here that I hadn't seen before. They didn't seem like they were particularly dangerous, so I kind of just made it known that I kind of knew that they were following us.
Yeah.
Bit of a chat. They seem to be, although came across as fairly well equipped and kind of experienced. Maybe experienced kind of lycanthrope hunters. They do seem slightly fanatical.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you don't know whether they. I mean, I guess judging by the scars, I would say you probably thought that they were probably fairly high. Well, not high level, but they don't. You kind of got the impression that the scars are more recent than their veteranness. So they were probably attacked while they were fairly well. They weren't like level 0 when they were attacked.
Yeah. Okay.
So you kind of get the impression that maybe that's how they saved their lives because they were able to fight it off or something.
Yep.
I don't know. Just for a bit of intel.
Yeah. I mean, the mum's quite old as well, though, so they should be able to get rid of her quite easily.
Yeah.
So just and they're kind of accusing PTB of being a werewolf. They've been banned from the palace, so hopefully no one's kind of seen us talking or whatever.
Oh, yeah, good point.
I guess,
I guess you mentioned the black wolf on the burnished gold.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to.
Yeah.
You might think
I mean, is that kind of one of those, it's kind of that classic, if it was Dracula, would have a bat on his motif and stuff there, where you kind of like, well...
It'd be a bit obvious to...
Would you though? And things. So, I mean, that might just be... I mean, we could maybe ask about the motif to see if it's like an ancient family one or if it's something that's just been adopted. Maybe it was something that he's decided that's his thing.
Give me a roll for your chap, Clip. You might know a little bit about that. D20, I guess?
Oh, D20, sorry.
Yeah. High is good.
Oh, gosh. Hey, natural 20.
Ah, well, all the Pauldrons have had that symbol in their family for years. Yeah, I can't see that. It's quite good.
Yeah,
quite good. In fact, yeah, okay. So I guess you know a bit. Let's just say you know a bit more about the family. Well, you know a lot about the family for some reason. It's quite a famous family, maybe because you've been there. I guess like you know about the I guess you know about the missing twin sisters.
Yeah.
Just because you got a natural 20, right? They have an ancestral sword.
Ooh.
Called Vormstort.
Ooh, that sounds exciting.
Or sometimes called Shapebinder. And it says Vormstort in the Old Tongue, Shapebinder. And I guess you even know about their family motto, which is apparently on the sword. The sword is like bifurcated, so it's got two blades.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like almost like a tuning fork, but sharp, like something you'd like for stabbing a turkey.
Yeah.
I tell you what. Do you want to? That's their family motto there. Do you want to take a photo so you can read it at your leisure later?
Give me 2 seconds. I'm getting
you can read it now, but obviously there might be some spoilery stuff on that page. And yes, you're very familiar with the wolf head on a disc of burnished gold. Obviously, if you take the whole page, you can get all the spoilers.
No, I'm not going to. Do it that way.
Sure, you can always crop it, can't you? Afterwards. But I guess Okay, so why don't you read it out then for the?
Let's just make sure that you're happy.
Yeah, in the Old Tongue. Yeah, that's fine. There's nothing in there. So you start telling the chaps about it. So you say, and the family motto is
nil like and thrive, nowhere to hide, no lies in hope. No, nil lies in hope. No were unchanged.
So it's obviously in the Old Tongue.
Yep.
So one more time.
Nil like and thrive. Nowhere to hide. Nil lies in hope. No were unchanged.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that is also engraved. So each one of the stanzas, as you well know, maybe you're inspired by this legendary tale. Each one of those verses is on one face of each blade. Yeah. So
okay. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
And like I say, it's in the Old Tongue it's Vormstort.
Yep.
Which in kind of more literal translation means shapebinder.
Okay, so it almost sounds like these guys are anti lycanthrope.
Who knows?
Yeah, weird old thing there. I guess with kind of the Nat 20, just gonna go off that for a little while.
Might as well. Might as well.
Is there kind of a history of lycanthropy
in the family?
In the family and in the area, I guess, would be a... Or is it just the family that he knows
let's
lots
have a
about?
think. Why don't you give me another 20, D20. See if we can replicate that 20. That's even saying 20 on there, man. 11. I think. No, I don't think there's any. Not that you're aware of. That there's any stories about. I mean, maybe you always knew about this crazy great sword.
Part of my to be fair, is part of his film bingo thing that he has whenever he does his film nights. He wants to show certain things. So
novelty sword.
Yeah, novelty sword, or
he just needs to throw it.
Thrown weapon. Well, he's got a dagger of return.
Yeah, he does actually. You're right. So you can throw that. You can throw that.
Dagger of self-return.
Right. Yeah, wow, he's gonna be throwing that like a no one's business.
Man, that's Krull. Literally, that's Krull.
Okay, let me give me one more roll, just in case. I just want to know if there's any. Maybe this is about the. Is there any link from the rumours that caused you to come home? That are linked to a werewolf.
Yeah.
Is this why you've been called home? Because there's some weird rumours or knowledge about it.
No.
8. No.
3.
So is that a 3?
Yeah, it's a 3.
Yeah, that's a hard dice to read,
isn't it? I probably won't use it on it. It looks really cool,
fancy,
but it's really not.
Just tell me it's a 20. Yeah. Oh wow.
21. Woo!
Look at that. That's a 20. Okay, so not the rooms aren't about a werewolf
that I'm aware of.
You're right.
Okay, cool. Anything else about his sisters?
Okay, since you got this nat 20, let's follow up with another. If you can give me another good roll, maybe know more about this story too. Okay. What you know is about the legend is possibly about, I don't know, 30, 40 years ago. They went on an expedition.
The whole family, or just the sisters?
The girls.
Yeah.
Went. They were about, they were maybe 14 or so.
Yeah.
Pauldron was at home. He was like a couple of years younger than them.
Mm-hmm.
As far as you know, he was accompanied by the court magician, and when he came back, he did not have them and said they were lost. And then the court magician fled because he lost the heirs of the throne.
Yeah, yeah.
So he disappeared about that time. So basically, they think that the rumors are, well, the summation was that something terrible happened, and the twin sisters never make it home.
Okay. And it was just the court magician that came home, no kind of bodyguards or anything like that at all. It was kind of his word.
Yeah, it was him and the girls, because he was he took him into the woods. See if there any reason why.
Pedo.
Oh, come on, man.
It seems that way, man. He's taking two 14-year-olds into the woods.
No.
Come and see my wand.
No, I'm not going there. Ooh,
Hey!
Wow, what is with these 20s, man?
Well, no, that's not when I can. Well, I kind of do need them, but I
not on this.
guarantee I won't be doing that during combat.
Okay, let's just say that both the girls were budding. They're strong in the magical arts.
Okay.
And they were. The rumor, which probably is true based on this, is that they were going to collect herbs and stuff in the forest.
Mm-hmm.
And basically they were his apprentices, so they were accompanying him, and like I say, they didn't come back.
Okay.
So, and him fleeing was, I don't know. No one read too much into it in the sense that did he do something wrong, but it was quite clear that he was going to get the blame for it.
Yep.
So it's probably perfectly reasonable. In fact, since you rolled a 20, his name was Clavence the Magnificent.
Clavence.
You gonna make something weird out of that one?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'll have to work on that one now. I think it's kind of.
Oh, who knew that you knew so much about this area?
Well,
Two 20s in about 3 rolls.
I know, that's quite cool.
Crazy,
Well,
man.
4, but yeah. Okay, well, that's quite interesting. So, I guess.
Let's just say, I guess. Let's just say you know the name. So it's Connie and Lucinda.
Connie and Lucinda.
Yeah, because basically, yeah, you know so much about the legend behind the family.
And I guess obviously it was before my time and other bits and pieces, but from the description of Clavence the Magnificent, would it match Masco McMaskison? Just from kind of like build and height and...
Well, I don't know whether you would know... Well, I guess give me a roll unless you get a 20, man. It's outrageous. But I would say it's probably unlikely you know much about it.
That's a bit of a shot in the dark.
It's about 30 years ago.
No,
okay,
not
well,
cool.
So, I mean, you know that I guess they're both male.
And liked herbs.
Liked herbs. I mean, it's interesting that that the mysterious stranger wouldn't take Medusa into the woods. Is that because
that's what I was thinking.
Is that the trauma?
So,
like he didn't want to. I mean, I'm just bouncing.
Or she's a bit older.
So there you go.
It's your thing that you've made, man. I'm just slightly worried about you now.
Fair enough. I might have to upgrade these girls to 18.
So I guess the only thing I would be just quasi mindful of is what was the family like before? So I guess
Okay.
so if the daughters were the twins when they were lost,
yeah.
I presume the mother and father were still around.
Yeah. So I think I'd say that Poldrin probably came to the throne, as it were, at a pretty early age, 18 or so. He was about 12 when his sisters disappeared, and a few years later, he became the sole heir.
Yeah.
And has been ruling ever since.
Okay.
And
so I guess my question, my kind of slightly elongated question with that is, like, family-wise, I guess, is there like a history then of obviously A, trying to find what happened to the daughters, but B, like, kind of focused on they've got was the sword. Yeah, is it cutthroat family? Was the sword like you just say it's family heirloom? Is that like from generations, or is it a relatively new thing? Is that kind of been their thing of?
As far as you know, it's been in the family forever. I mean, you don't know how far it goes back, but as far as anyone can remember, it's been in the throne room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows? You probably maybe know a legend about who was the first owner of it or whatever, but it's certainly
a long time ago.
Okay. And not any more cutthroat than any one of these four families. There's definitely been a few people died in mysterious circumstances, but then there's been a few who've lived long. So
yeah,
it's not like it's known to be particularly brutal.
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean it isn't.
Yeah, behind closed doors and all. Yeah. Okay.
So it's not impossibly offed his parents at the age of 18 after arranging for his sisters to be lost in the woods. You don't know, maybe. Not impossible.
By that Portuguese guy. Okay. Cool. I guess in short, there's kind of I think there's quite a few little bits and pieces around and kind of interesting kind of arcs and stuff that you could follow. I think with this, I'm clearly not going to stab him.
You're not still stab the Lord in his own powers.
I think there would be a few things that we'll be looking out for. So I guess if there's anything, again, it kind of, I don't know. So my characters clearly don't know unless you think that a role would be a thing there. But is the mere, if you're talking about like monster hunters and other bits and pieces, like the mere touch of a holy symbol for a vampire is enough to cause actual physical damage and kind of a visible physical damage.
Yeah.
Is just the touch of silver enough to kind of burn a werewolf or anything like that at all. So therefore, in my mind, without anything there, in my mind we'll be going, is there
a test?
A lot of either a test, yes, or is there, either a lot or a lack of silver items within the palace when we're kind of going around and stuff.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well,
so maybe just drop in the odd question of, oh, that's a nice sword. Is it silver plated? Or anything like that at all, just to see if there is anything. If they suddenly turn around and go, oh no, we're not allowed silver in the palace, then maybe Belend and Kababa are right
on the right track.
Yeah.
So let's have a look. I'm just going to read it, and obviously you don't necessarily know about this.
Interesting though. I hadn't really thought about it that way. Obviously, it's what kills them, but
because obviously, I think some animals can't be hurt unless they have a silver weapon. But I guess the test would possibly just stab them, and if they go whatever's, and then you stab them. I knew it. Then you go quite a long way down the track, haven't you?
Yeah. Because I think most of the time, in like kind of classic literature and other bits, it's not a test, is it? It's a definite we're killing this thing, but also we know that that's the thing, as opposed to is it this person or this thing?
just your characters don't know this, but essentially you have to take at least 50% hit point damages before you have to worry about lycanthropy.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I guess we could do. Who's your most intelligent character?
The gnome magic user.
And what's their intelligence?
17.
Ooh, they're pretty clever. I'll tell you what, it's a bit of an obtuse field, so if you can roll under 17 on a percentile, you know.
Percentile?
Yeah, so it's a difficult test, but. And double 17, make it fair.
Yeah.
So what's double
54.
20. What is
34.
That? 34. These dice have been pretty hot for you. I reckon you're going to do it.
Hey,
Okay.
24.
Okay.
Nice. I'm still keeping my psionics roll.
I don't see anything about silver in here. I guess. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. So, magic. Your knowledge extends to the fact that you know that lycanthrope's going to be damaged by magical or silver weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I'm going to have to make a call on whether. I don't think you'll know this necessarily, but this. It's interesting that Belna knew about it, but we'll write. No, your Bildar Blue knew about it. Maybe you've talked about this over the Venturing Fire, but we'll let that one We'll let that one pass.
Yeah.
So yeah, stuff about.
I think the silver thing for lycanthropes is fairly
common. Okay, this is more detailed knowledge then. Okay.
Yeah.
So you know that you've got to have some pretty grievous wounds to be in the frame.
So my guys don't know about that though.
No, your dude does, but he can.
Oh.
Your gnome we just rolled,
Yeah.
right? But given you talking about lycanthropes, it's probably a time where you would have said, "Listen up, chaps.
Yeah.
This is what I know." So, full moons are problem points for lycanthropes. They sometimes have to change. You're not
Yeah.
sure if it's always, but obviously you're going to be grievously wounded to be at risk from lycanthropy,
Mm-hmm.
and then you might have to speak to someone about fixing it.
Yeah.
But you think it's a pretty severe requirement. And I said about the silver. What was something else there? Oh, where is it? Oh, maybe it's just specifically about werewolves. I'm not a very good reader of this.
They're all called Mother.
Well, I saw something here. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, and what you do also know is that belladonna
Yep.
is something that is quite useful for prevention of catching lycanthropy.
Oh, so what, ingesting it?
Yeah.
Or like prior to going into battle with them, or?
I think as if you think the person might be, suffering from it, then belladonna is something that can help thwart it off.
Okay.
So if you think there's a werewolf around, you might be interested in get some belladonna.
Mm-hmm. From Belladonna. Oh, that's what they called the things there. Nice, I like what you did.
Good spot.
Okay, cool. So another kind of interesting.
So you do share that with your
Yeah,
chaps,
yeah.
right?
I think. Obviously, it's quite difficult, kind of running 6 characters.
Sure, of course.
Thing there, but I think with all of this type of stuff there, I think because I've kind of always thought about this on a slight aside for kind of groups and parties and other bits and pieces. Like it's in it. There will clearly be some stuff that you want to, you might want to keep private or anything like that at all.
Mm-hmm.
But there is, I think, that kind of thing of actually this one time at band camp we had to do this type of stuff. You don't get that reference either, do you? No, it's so wasted.
As soon as a film, I don't know about it, right? Unless it's like it's better to burn out than fade away. That one I got.
Nice.
Yeah, there might be sometimes they keep things to stuff.
You keep some stuff maybe to yourself, but most of the time, you sat around camp, with all of this stuff. We kind of do the adventures and we get all excited, but quite often there's days and days, weeks to get to places and stuff. So we sat around a campfire just chatting, and quite often, practicing and other bits and pieces so that you work as a good team. And part of that thing will be sharing as much information as you know about everything to make sure that everybody is ready to do what they need to do.
Yeah, sure.
And
Bardet Blue is obviously a bit of a scoundrel because he's obviously pilfered off some coin.
Yeah.
And but you can't see any reason why he would have kept that information to himself about the lycanthrope hunters,
Yeah,
right?
for real.
And similarly, as soon as she heard about it, say, "Oh, guys,
yeah,
one thing you need to know about if there really is a werewolf around, like Belladonna is, if he's, not. I mean, do you know what Belladonna even looks like?"
do you know what? I actually don't know.
I mean, your character though.
Well, I mean, if she kind of
knows
knows
about
that thing there, she probably...
Okay, let's give it, since you already know about it, let's give you double what you had last time. So that was 30 what?
It's 54.
There was 34, but double that now, because you've already got a...
Sorry,
I think it was 68.
All
right, you got a good chance, all right? 68.
Oh, 66!
Oh yeah. Okay, let's just say you know Belladonna when you see it.
Right. Okay. So I think on an aside, she will, if she sees them, she's going to pick it.
Mm-hmm.
If we kind of have this kind of thing just in the back of our minds, she's also going to point out to everybody else, this is what it looks like, just in case either she's the problem or she's not around.
Okay. What's your intelligence? Let's on a D20 roll under that.
17.
Okay. So in fact, what's your wisdom?
Oh, her wisdom. Ooh, 12.
Okay, roll under your wisdom.
Yeah, just because the intelligence was really good.
Well, this is more like is this wise? This is not just smart.
10.
Okay, right. So you noticed that Medusa had some belladonna tucked in her waistband. At the time, you thought it was a bit odd, but she said she was a herbalist, so you just thought. She had some other. You think about. She had quite a few different kind of like pouches and stuff, but you definitely saw one of them look like it contained some belladonna.
And okay, that might be why Masco McMaskison doesn't want anything to do with her, maybe as well. Okay, cool.
So you think he's a werewolf now? That's what a werewolf would say.
That's what a werewolf would say. I think that. Well, no, I'm kind of thinking more that he might be. Cleavance.
Clavance.
I
see, you're right, yeah. Forgot. At least you can't make something like
Cleavance the Speedo.
Right, okay. Cleavage. You should go for cleavage.
Yeah, maybe. Just wondering if they're the same people and he's just wearing the mask so that people don't think they're, so that'd be interesting to see. Okay. And she had belladonna, so she's obviously aware of that.
And some other herbs, but maybe it's not completely unreasonable to have belladonna.
I mean, as a herbalist, you kind of think if those are, you'd have what's available anyway, wouldn't you? So
I don't know much about belladonna, but I'm going to say it grows. Just going to say in this realm, it grows in shady areas, and often in the woods. Let's just say.
Yeah.
So she could have well got it in the Green Coombe Forest.
Yeah.
Probably the most likely place.
Yeah. And it still looked fairly fresh?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, cool. Okay, cool. So I guess, that'll be, kind of just drop a couple of little things for, just to kind of say,
you describe it, right?
Yeah, she describes it. And then just for kind of further things there, obviously we'll be looking to see if there's
I reckon
an abundance of silver stuff around.
Oh, yeah, silver.
Just those bits and pieces as well. So.
Okay, so okay. So I reckon. Oh, so you're looking for a belladonna specifically in the palace?
Yeah, we could look to see if there's any there as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and silver and But I'll say that if is it Ham? That is this? No, it's Willen. So if Willen sees some belladonna, I think she probably would just eyeball it now. If it's around, she'll see it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Because I mean, the other guys, if the party gets split up, then they won't. They'll both decide. But Willen's now like. On a.
Although I guess with the probably not quite so much. They're kind of God-given things rather than.
I don't know. I mean, what did you roll? We rolled twice intelligence, right? Okay, under 30 then. Under 30, she has a similar knowledge of herbs.
Intelligence is 60.
Yeah, 30, right?
Oh, close though.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Okay, your double she would have made it. Okay, she doesn't know.
Cool, that's fine. Okay, cool. Yeah, absolutely. That sounds very fair. I think obviously that will be, as you say, that will just on a background thing. That will be one of the things that she's looking for, just to point out in bits and pieces there.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, I think we'll just kind of carry on making our way toward the.
So yeah, okay. Just if you ever do make it to the woods, every day, if you roll a 6, you'll spot some belladonna. So I'll leave that up to you to make that roll.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. So you rock up to the palace. There's a guy in the livery of Pauldron the Brave.
PTB. Yep.
Yeah. Yellow and black checkers.
Okay.
Wolf.
Difficult to paint.
Yes. If I ever serialise this adventure, some bugger will have to paint that. Wolf head on his tabard.
Yep.
Holding a kind of a
halberd.
Yeah, some sort of pole arm.
Yep.
What's the hammer called? Fulchions.
Lucian hammer.
He's got a Lucian hammer, much like your own.
Oh, nice. What's up, bro? Tap hammerheads with each other. I don't.
Yeah.
Hello.
What business do you have at the palace?
We've been asked to attend Redwing Greentail.
You what? I didn't catch that. What was that?
Redwing Greentail.
Yeah. What was that about? I don't like the way you're winking at me. Who's doing this out of interest?
It's got to be Ganther, hasn't it? Really, because he's got the hammer.
Okay.
Hammer Bros.
Yeah. He's like, no. What are you talking about?
We were told to come here by Masco McMaskison, and pronounce Redwing Greentail.
Don't say that out loud. What?
Just said it 3 times, dickhead.
Can't we shout that in the street? Anyway, that's last week's password. Right. Okay. Someone go get the mysterious stranger. So he turns up. Come on then. Did you say the password?
We did, and then we got shouted at, and we did the winks as well. He told us to do the winks.
There's no winks.
I know, but I'm just trying to see if he's
okay. So all right. So all right. Come with me. But he's you hear him talking to this guard saying about the password or some shit. But the guard's a little bit. You get the impression his security isn't that
yeah.
It's a bit lax.
Yeah.
Maybe the password didn't get down to this guy, or it did, and he forgot, or he just paid him. Okay, so mysterious strangers. All right, come with me. We'll go see the Lord. Good. You turned up. You got all your kit. Ready to go if we need to.
Yeah. So made sure that we brought all of our silver stuff along and everything. Just silver and gold, just to make sure on the thing.
Right, okay. So you're going down the hall. It's quite lavishly. There are quite a lot of silver items. Mainly fixed down in case this is a public kind of a bit of a public thoroughfare. So obviously don't want anyone nicking it. So you kind of explored through lots of corridors.
Throwing orange powder on paintings.
Right. Yeah. Protesting about the deforestation of the green.
Yeah.
The green.
Quite right too.
So okay. So cut long short story. You guys are brought into the throne room. So there's Lord Pauldron. He's up on his
Pauldron the Brave, dude.
Pauldron the Brave, correct?
PTB,
or whatever he is. You get me saying that now. So let's just do a visual. Why not?
I love all your pictures in these things. They're really good.
Yeah, they're all mostly from the face folio. Where them the Pauldron the Brave? I thought it was near the beginning. Give me a sec, dude. So he's up on his throne room. Above his, here he is, Pauldron the Brave.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he looks at he's got his goblet of wine. He's sitting there. You hear him talking to the mysterious stranger, and you sort of hear him asking about have you checked them for lice? And he's shh, like that, right?
Lycanthrope.
Above his head, is Wormstort, and as advertised, it is a 2-pronged blade.
Mm-hmm.
Up there, pride of place.
Easily within reach, I hope, for him.
Yeah,
quite high.
Yeah, I mean you could get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also above is the family motto, which you can now read and you remember.
Yeah.
Off to the side, there's a painting that looks like it's being painted at the moment. And
Okay, yeah.
and it seems to possibly it looks like it might be depicting Lord Pauldron in like battle or something. It's like obviously in a very kind of what's the word?
Heroic.
Yeah, a very heroic stance like this,
Yep.
And so it obviously looks partially complete. There's also a very large key hanging off a hook next to the sword.
Okay.
So it seems to be unusually prominent, as if it's like important.
Yep.
Anything else?
Is it the key to his heart?
Yeah, I don't know about that. It could be. It could be. So, yeah, and I think that's about it.
Obviously, lots of guards and other bits and
Yeah,
pieces
yeah.
around.
Actually,
it's like standard kind of.
Yeah,
Roman.
yeah. There's you're a bunch of like cutthroats.
Yes.
I mean, in fairness to Lord Pauldron, he is armed.
Yeah.
He's not wearing very much. He's wearing comfortable clothes, but it all looks very high quality. And you kind of get the impression that he despite all his like pomp and ceremony about him being Pauldron the Brave, you get fighter to fighter that he probably can handle himself a bit.
Yeah.
He's not, he's had that training and drilling and
Yeah.
all the best teachers, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Whether he's seen a lot of actions doesn't matter, but you get the impression he's if he was forced to fight, he would
Yeah.
probably acquit himself
Can hold himself.
pretty well, and maybe all that hunting he's done's done good.
Yeah.
So
Not sure how much XP boars give.
yeah, well, if you kill enough of them, maybe. But let's just say, regardless of how the XP system works in this, he's obviously experienced. Maybe just tutelage alone has served him proud, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say Lord Pauldron cuts to the chase.
Yeah.
Right? He says that basically there's been a terrible beast that is in the Greening Wood that's been coming out and marauding his peasants, taking them, and this has been hitting his bottom line. He's not been able to tax them. They're complaining about not going to the fields because they're scared of being eaten or taken away. And,
Heaven forbid.
And he wants this beast caught.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Caught and killed, or
no, it's absolutely emphatic that the beast must be taken alive because he wants to capture it and show the peasantry that he has dealt with the problem and take glory for it. So he's saying, I want you to go catch it for me. And he says that to aid him in doing this, he will reward you very handsomely. And he says some very big numbers. And you're pretty confident, judging by the wealth, that he could pay that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's imperative that it's brought back alive. If he doesn't bring it back alive, you're not getting paid.
Okay.
Right? And the numbers are pretty significant. And he says that to aid you in this quest, the mysterious stranger has prepared a sending portal that will send you straight to the beast's lair.
Okay. Is it a boot?
A boot.
Yeah.
Time Bandits?
No, not Time Bandits. No. Different one, but anyway.
Okay. Time portal. So a portal.
Portal key.
Yeah. And he says that there's also a returning amulet you can have.
Yeah.
It'll bring you back.
Yeah. Is this like a potion of etherealness?
No, not that. Well, it could be. I don't know. That old chestnut. But
Yeah.
he says it only works once a day before sunrise.
Mm-hmm.
So catch him with the beast, and he points to this like cage that was kind of sitting on the side, which he didn't really notice before.
Yeah.
But he says that
Got a two-headed black dragon in it.
it doesn't have a two-headed black dragon in it. You've been scarred. You've obviously played with some terrible DMs
Oh,
before.
no, just ones that like to surprise me.
Jaded. And so he says this is a pocket. It essentially contains a pocket dimension. He said if you put the beast in the cage, if you can get the beast in the cage, it's basically like a TARDIS. You can get it in the cage.
How big is this beast?
We haven't asked, I suppose. Get in the cage, close the door, and if you bring it back, that key can be used to let him out again. So that's the key. So capture the beast in that cage. So I'll give you the cage, but you got to bring it back.
Right.
I'll give you a sending portal to bring you home.
Right.
He looks at you and says, "You haven't brought a mule or anything, have you?" He says, "Get Daphne." So he comes in with this mule.
Yeah.
Right, that is Daphne.
I think it'll be called Bill.
No, Daphne.
All right.
And he says, to sweeten the deal, he said, there was a court magician here. He disappeared several years ago.
Oh, okay.
But there's a bunch of stuff that the mysterious stranger has found in his thing that could be of use. So I will allow each of you to take an item to help you capture this beast.
Ooh.
Big reward, and if you capture the beast, you can keep these items. Okay.
How, and according to folklore, how big is this beast?
The beast.
Yeah.
Well, how do I describe it? It's sort of a bit like a big lion, kind of porcupine, bat wing, kind of human head kind of beast. I don't know. It's meant to be. It sounds quite awful, but I'm sure it's within your capabilities.
All right. Okay. Cool.
But it is a dangerous beast.
I'm sure it is. By the sounds, it sounds terribly dangerous.
So like a porcupine lion. That's probably with a human head and wings. That's what the peasants say. I think they're exaggerating. It's probably just a kind of
like the Jabberwock.
just you'll recognise it when you see it. So if you're up for it, I tell you what. So if you're up for it, go down to the sending portal. There's the items are down there. You can take one each.
Mm-hmm.
And then, frankly, you need to go now. The portal is ready. If you're up for it.
I guess. So, from our perspective,
Mm-hmm.
this all sounds like a wonderful reward, and we're touched that you'd think that we're capable of doing so.
Mm-hmm. And the mysterious stranger starts loading this kind of catching cage onto the back of the mule and tying it on. And he hands the amulet to Han. Here you go.
Yeah. We were on our way to Halfton,
Mm-hmm.
thing there. So if we do manage to do this, would you be able to send us? Would you be able to with the
The portal can be reconfigured.
Yeah.
Well, it's only a day and a half journey from here. Looks at the mysterious stranger's like, oh, for a strapping chaps like you.
Yeah, but if we're going out of our way to do this for you, then it is delaying our stuff that we were going to be doing.
You know, peasants. Yeah, okay. Yes, I'm sure the mysterious stranger can do it. So come back with a beast. Use the amulet to return in the cage. You'll get your reward. And yes, of course, I will send you to Hafton if you must.
So do we take the key?
No, the key stays here. I don't want to risk losing the key.
So we get the beastie
in the cage. Close the cage. She's locked up.
Well, it automatically locks, does it?
Well, close the door, of course.
Yeah.
Beast in. Close the door. Trapped. Then I'll use the key as necessary.
Unlock it.
If I want to.
So it automatically locks.
Yes. If you close the door.
Right. Okay.
It's very simple.
And have people gone for it before?
Well,
Are we the first people to do this?
Well, I don't see why I should doubt the mysterious stranger. I think you can see through the portal. Is that right?
No, but have other adventuring bands gone off to try and do stuff?
What? No, you're the first I've asked to capture the beast, but you look like the kind of guys, the cut of your jib. You should be able to easily manage this, I can tell.
And so I guess the painting is waiting to see what the beast looks like to then show you killing it.
Ah, the painting! Yes, that's immortalising me in battle.
Nice.
I'm quite brave, you know.
No, we've heard.
Very brave.
We've heard that you're not allowed to actually call you by a name without adding the brave.
Correct.
And quite right.
Quite right. Yes.
Quite right. To come up with a plan like this is a very brave plan for you to do.
Yes.
I guess kind of not talking to him, but kind of they'll have to maybe just see. I guess.
Would you like to see the items and the portal?
Is Clip going to be happy with that?
With what?
With this detour.
Okay. What's Clip? He's a fighter, isn't he?
He's a fighter, yeah.
Well, it is a substantial amount of money, and you are adventurous. And I got the impression that the matter was not so pressing that you didn't think you could
But
wait.
I mean, he didn't know he doesn't know the Six Toes Aldwin
Holding
Six
six
Toes.
toes, yeah.
So we kind of didn't know him when he was thing there. He's not the cleverest of people in the world.
Yeah.
He obviously gets fixated on certain things and to the exclusion of others with the knowing of the
Yeah,
legends
that's
and other
true.
bits and pieces.
But I guess he's got his buddies who might, particularly Bardat, who likes a quid. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe they feel that this is a mission that's depriving them of a coin anyway. Can we not just swing past? Like, actually, it's only a couple of days detour.
and I think also as well. I mean, I think one of the things is a driving thing for almost all adventurers is if there's some cool equipment that we can get that, if we can do this thing. I guess the worry is not knowing what they're going up against. Although there's far too many kind of coincidental things there, but there is. I'm
So
intrigued by
what's
the
this description again?
lion-shaped porcupine. What was the porcupine thing? Was that just the quills, maybe?
There's six of you, bat-winged.
Bat-winged, human-faced.
I think that was it.
Actually, bat-winged. That's not Sphinx, is it?
I reckon we might go for another.
Maybe get to the point of the
15
portal, rather. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think, to
go
be
through or
fair,
not.
I think they're probably going to go for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Clip, probably on balance, is probably
Bit
thinking
hesitant.
actually he'd be a little bit hesitant, but also he's
Maybe that money he thinks he can help the family. I don't know.
Yeah, and maybe, and also having if then PTB is kind of slightly indebted. Obviously they'll be paid. Well, not obviously, but hopefully they'll be paid. Whilst he won't be in their debt, he may well look on things favourably for.
It's true. Having a
bits
friend,
and pieces
a lord
there.
as your friend.
Yeah.
In the town.
Although he does
nearby.
sound like he's not that fussed about peasants, so he clearly considers them to be peasants. But then I guess if they've done this thing for him, then they might be helpful. So I think, on balance, I think they will go for it.
Okay, so on the table there are some items.
Yeah.
Pendulum, and they've all got they all have the initials CTM on them.
Yeah.
And each one has a engraving on it. So there's a pendulum with some eyes. So you get 6 of these, I guess, because 6 of you.
Mm-hmm.
Pendulum with some eyes. A dart with a snail. A bag of dust with a snowflake on it. A horn with a falling bird. What looks like a lotion with a black silhouette on it. Black silhouette.
Lotion.
Yeah, like a bottle of oil or something, right?
Oops.
What looks like a potion. This one looks like you're more likely to drink it. With a broken ear. A ring with a spider.
Sorry, a potion. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, no problem. A potion with a broken ear.
Mm-hmm.
A ring with a spider. A scroll which has a ribbon, and on the ribbon there's a picture of a bed. You probably think it's a magical scroll, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Another. It looks like a glass ball full of liquid. It looks like quite a fragile glass thing, and it has ants all over it.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, there's just a bit of rope that's coiled up, but that is without. I mean, the rope is only about maybe 3 feet long. So you could tie it around your waist almost.
Okay.
And it's obviously been collected with these other items. So your guess is that it's probably not just a piece of rope.
Okay.
So.
And Clarence the Magnificent is with us?
What, you mean the mysterious stranger?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's there. And by the way, there's a kind of shimmering portal there.
Okay,
You can see
yep.
it. And you can see through, and you can sort of almost make out the shape of some like rocky kind of ground. It's not very clear
Yeah.
through it, but you can see it's going to somewhere else. Do you want to make those decisions on your which you're going to take? Just tell me next session.
Yeah, maybe. Can I ask some quick questions?
You can ask any questions you like, but I'm just going to presume that you're going to go through the portal.
Yep.
Okay. So should we just say you go through the portal?
Yep.
Okay. I was just going to think. Was there something I was going to say as you go through the portal? Yeah. Okay. As you step through the portal, the mysterious stranger just yells after you. Don't feed the bloody squirrels! the thing closes behind you.
Okay.
And
nice.
We'll pick up. Well, do you want to know what you see? Just quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so what you're standing on like a caldera, it's like you're on top of a hill, but it kind of has a big depression.
Yeah.
And behind you, you can see the greening, what you presume is the greening coombe forest.
Yeah.
So you think that you're in sort of just on the hill line. So
north of the forest.
So this is town.
Yeah.
These are hills.
Yeah.
That's the greening coombe forest. This is the halfling.
Yeah.
Halfton, Humeton forest, and your reckoning is that you're somewhere here.
Right.
So you're in the hills, but only just.
Yeah.
And then you're on a caldera. Well, you're on it goes down, and in the base of the caldera is it's like red hot, strangely hot, and there's a bunch of caves, like 3 or 4 caves in this like depression. So
yeah.
You're up here. You're looking down to this caldera, so there's a couple of caves like around, and then at the bottom here it's red hot.
Okay. Magma.
Magma. What's that from? Magma. I'll get it. That one I do know. I think magma.
Magma.
Yeah, in the most ridiculous way. What is that from? Yeah. So, any questions about the items?
Yeah, I guess. So does Clarence know anything about them?
Clavance. You mean the mysterious stranger?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Is that who it is?
Yeah. The mysterious stranger just says these were left in a cupboard.
Mm-hmm.
That seemed to have a lot of precious things, and he surmised that they were magical.
And we can take them all?
1 each, please. That's your reward.
Oh.
And you can keep them. But if you fail in your mission or kill the beast, then you have to return them and make reparations, of course.
Mm-hmm. And are there any command words or anything like that at all to these?
I guess the mysterious stranger seems to think that maybe that's a good question. Maybe you have to rub off the symbol.
Okay.
So he says, I think these are like command. So if you rub off the snail on the dart and throw it, whatever power is imbued therein will be released.
Okay.
That's his best guess. Or at least you rub it and that activates the symbol if it's carved in.
Okay.
Let's go with that.
And does he know what the rope is for? As in, is there
says,
anything? Is it just?
I don't. Yeah, he just says I haven't really trifled with them, but I think they're all pretty useful. Well, if you take it, you can mess with it, but you know.
But there's no mark on it.
No, there isn't.
How can I rub it? How can I rub it?
Well, I don't know. Maybe you just need to mess around with it. Every draws.
Fair enough.
Magma. What's the magma from?
Thanic's pretty good with a whip. Maybe she could I think there. So maybe she's good at rope work.
Yeah, true. Magma. What's that from? I even say it sometimes.
Yeah, as you should.
As I should.
There's lots of things you should say, Mike.
True. Right. Any other questions?
Did Clarence have any other aside from?
You're going to call it Clavance. Okay, I'll go with Clavance then.
aside from
who we will call Clarence.
aside from
As
don't
opposed,
feed the blink squirrels. Did he have any advice on? So I guess we could see it kind of quasi blurry. So I guess, was there any advice on whereabouts? Because he said it would take us to the lair of the beast.
Mm-hmm.
Like it would be directly to the lair, or do we have to find it, or what was the dealio?
I guess you get the impression that one of these caves must be the home of the beast. And just looking at it, it's pretty obvious there's one cave that looks like pretty worn in.
Right.
And you're in the middle of nowhere with the beast. Be using a different cave. Maybe sleeps in one, moved around. I mean, but your best guess is that the obvious one is where he's at.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
As a general post-mortem on this, I think I'm going to have to give the mysterious stranger a name. He's calling mysterious strangers like a bit bizarre. He's a mysterious stranger for the plot device, but thereafter, like, he must have a name. Maybe it has to be called the Chamberlain.
Clarence the Chamberlain.
He who we should call Clarence the Chamberlain.
Okay.
So we'll pause it there, right?
Yeah, I reckon so.
Okay. So what's your gut feeling on what's going on, do you think, if you had one? Is there too much going on? What's the post-mortem?
I think having all of the different kind of quasi or what appear at first glance to be different kind of arcs thing there has always, I think, been a strength of yours anyways, just in case people go, oh no, go do this, you don't then have to kind of properly back up and stuff there. So and I also think nowadays, certainly with a lot of other stuff, always looking for side quests as well. So like hence asking Saliusa if she wanted any herbs and other bits and pieces is kind of just kind of what, and I think I've done it previously on our email play by email thing there, just asking for little extra bits and pieces to try and earn that extra XP or potentially other bits.
So it's almost a bit video gamey collecting the quests up perhaps.
Yeah, kind of, but I think that's kind of where some of that has come from, isn't it? Just with doing the various bits,
But if
in
it's
Fallout, you're supposed to go and save your son, but actually you spend more time building settlements and all these other bits and doing stuff for prepping Derby. But
do you think there's too many elements at the beginning? I just wonder if it's a bit too front loaded. I don't know. Or did you find it because you hadn't killed anyone this session, right?
No.
You did stab Bella.
Well, we don't know whether Kebab has stabbed the mother yet, so that would be kind of indirect. I did see. I mean, some of the stuff for the D&D stuff is not necessarily just go around just like killing loads of things and
sure,
because all of the evil henchmen have families as well.
They do. That one I do know.
People don't think about those things quite often.
Austin Powers.
Yeah, there you go. I was giving you extra clues.
You did give me, yeah.
I was going to go Sherbert. So yes, it's. I think we rolled some dice, a few bits and pieces, and they were quite. I thought they were quite good dice.
Man.
But also they worked well into everything that we were doing as well. So
I did one. I mean, the halfling relative, in a way, has driven the plot harder to Halfton. So initially,
yeah.
Now I'm not against that. I'm just wondering, like, is that a weakness or a strength? Because I could change this eventually to make it like do have a tie into the.
But then equally, would people automatic? That I think is just based on the individual. So you can go, oh yeah, no, that's I think having the pre-made characters.
Yeah.
By having that one, automatically my attention was drawn to that, as opposed to actually, if they were, I wouldn't necessarily go for halfling characters personally myself.
But you had a barkeep who's halfling, so you thought there's affinity.
Yeah, for real. So I'm kind of just trying to work off of those things kind of organically. So No, I don't think so. I think it's
Right.
I think just the those extra bits of storytelling and stuff there. And
Well, I mean, I had fun, but like I'm just thinking, is it too much info? Because you got Weldo,
Weldo,
who
yeah,
seems to have uh, some business going on, there's something going on with him and
yeah,
Aldrin,
and
right?
Aldrin, yeah,
So, and then you got the pet collector.
yeah,
I mean, that's just almost a bonus, possibly.
with a Popo.
Popo. Oh yeah, I was meant to say he was meant to offer you some money to try. Let's just retrocon that. He did try offer you some money to steal the parrot,
Right.
but I guess you didn't take it.
Well, I guess the thing for there would be, I think, Clip and
They go on well, didn't they?
Weldo got on fairly well there, didn't they? So they were kind of, and also, I mean, he was winking at him and everything. So whether they shared a hot tub or whatever. So I think whether he would even, you could argue, say whether he'd even bother to offer just because he. Just
maybe he just decided he wasn't going to get any.
But either way, they weren't going to do it. They wouldn't do that. I don't think, because I think someone sitting there like Fat Strider and just being miserable and the thing there is probably not necessarily the person that's the thing there. Whereas you got someone who actually chatted to him amicably, kind of probably feels the same way about what's happened in Halfton as Clip does.
Yeah.
Would they're not necessarily then going to go, oh yeah, we'll steal his colourful parrot.
Yeah.
And I think for me, one of the little things that kind of took me away from kind of the Popo was just the whole thing of my initial thing was he was just a collector of thing there. So then I was in my mind just a little bit worried about was he just getting it, killing them and stuffing them or whatever. But then obviously the kind of changing parrot wouldn't work. But then you can say, oh yeah, but I breed them and the thing there. You're like, well, why do you just want one? Unless it's a special type of multiplying parrot. So I think kind of that type of thing is, for me personally, probably a little bit of a, when it comes to kind of like a quest line, probably something a bit more of a kind of a turn off, as it were, rather than something kind of thinking, oh, no, I'll do it on the side and you see if I can do that stuff.
So by turn off, you mean like taking you off the path, or we didn't engage with it?
No, wouldn't engage that much on. So
sure,
because I think if there's stuff around, I might look at them, but I think probably to bring. I mean, how am I going to bring blink squirrel? If this is what I think it is and stuff there, how am I going to bring blink squirrels back? The thing there, so that's probably not going to happen unless that's what this beast is.
So yeah, I mean that makes sense. So, I'm not getting involved, but it's. I guess if nothing else, there are blink squirrels in the.
I mean, and also, Clarence the Magnificent said that just before we the thing there. So
he that we call Clarence the Magnificent.
So yeah, and I think the addition of the lackluster jackdaws was obviously is that like a deliberate thing of trying to set up a kind of a rivalry and stuff there, and kind of just having that kind of classic. They went by laughing at us when we were in a bit of trouble or whatever is kind of, they're just dicks, aren't they?
They are dicks, yeah.
So
you're thinking they might come in the mix again?
Yeah,
possibly?
maybe, because I mean, I get the impression this guy doesn't really care who gets it. He's not, he's not wedded to us. He doesn't know us, so he's just going to send as many people through.
But he said he like the your Jib. He seems such great guys.
Yeah, but he's just trying to get people to do a job for him that he just can't be bothered to do himself. So,
Maybe.
so. Unless Clarence the Magnificent was completely upset with them when they laughed at him and stuff. There, I'm not sure.
If it were Clarence the Magnificent, like you suppose, why would Pauldron the Brave employ him?
But if he keeps his mask on in front of him as well, I don't know that background bit there. So if he's kind of like, I wear this because of this hideous visage or stuff that I wouldn't dare solely my lord's thing, that he's probably going to take that as a, oh, well, no, peasants and stuff there, so you'll believe me anyway.
Okay, so you think he could be, all right, fair enough.
So, but he's trying to make amends for stuff that happened before, or maybe he did.
I guess he could have been in cahoots with his sisters.
Could have been.
And what about, I guess, I don't know if Medusa is a bit too much of a kind of like trying to jam too much in. I don't know whether I should have left that alone a bit. I don't know.
Well, I think, I kind of had a little bit of fun with her just to age some of that silly chauvinistic cheer up, love of mine, never happen stuff in there, but which I would like to suggest is quasi our character. But certainly, I guess there is also, for me, with that thing there, they're suddenly kind of finding out that she wants to be apprenticed to him, but he won't accept any apprentices, and then suddenly to find out that he's, and whether this was just a general kind of magic usury type thing, but he'd gone into the forest to collect herbs with the twins who were aspiring magicians, and she wants to do the same, but he won't
take her on.
Yeah, okay. I mean that might just be an age thing, as we said.
Well, there's an interesting tie-in. I mean, either that he's not cleversome and decent, and he's just not taking an apprentice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or he is, and for some reason he won't take her on. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a bit weird, frankly.
Yeah, she's a bit odd. Very definitely a interesting character. So this I think there's and all of that type of stuff there is, I guess sometimes it can be really easy to. You can kind of go, I guess, one of three ways really. One would be just to kind of, if you want someone to just go down a certain path, then you could just not include those things, or just make it very blunt-ended, and kind of you're not getting anything from this. And then if you want, that depends on the type of game that you want, doesn't it? So if you want discussions and just and just having fun,
I guess the problem is like, because I want to try out all the threads on you, I'm like ramming in, but obviously maybe if you're doing this, if you were doing it yourself, just doing it as a person running it, you might be a bit more relaxed about letting you maybe interact with Medusa, rather than like me kind of bringing it in a bit more. Maybe I brought it in too forcefully. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out.
I don't think so. I think because it was me that said to kind of get her over and have a chat and stuff there. So there's never anything you kind of went. If anything, you made her standoffish so that she actually didn't come over in the initial part. When we went in, she wasn't. She was, I guess, trying to turn us to stone with her mind. Maybe we're too far away or something. I'm not sure, but
that's true.
So so I think from that perspective, I don't think you went in either too heavy or too light either.
I'm just trying to get a feel for it, because I'm thinking, well, is it because so far there's been quite a lot of setup and different things going on, which hopefully can pay dividends later.
Yeah.
Or just because also, like you say, if you've just got one path, then it's obvious what the quest is. But maybe having a few of these things going means that you've got to well, is it that or is it that?
Yeah.
And obviously, you've got the lichen.
Yeah. No, I was just about to say bell end and kebab, with the lichen throat mother. Prove it, man.
He wanted to stab his own mother.
And is that then related to this beast that we're suddenly going off to try and get? I think the whole thing of I quite like the idea of them being utterly fanatical about this type of thing, and kind of, he's definitely a lycanthrope. Yeah, I just have to kill him. Like, well, is he though? Because you thought I was, and I'm not, and stuff there. So I think, and that type of thing, I think is almost comedic type of kind of interaction there, which is just fun.
Yeah. So do you think he's a lycanthrope, the Lord?
I think there's too much around. There's too much, and I mean, obviously things can change. So it may well be that previously, the whole family thing has been against lycanthropes. That's certainly what the I have a better read of it, but what the family motto kind of thing kind of certainly looks like they were against. But is it one of those things where actually someone has deliberately then tainted him to kind of,
or was it double bluff all along?
Or was it? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
We're against these lycanthropes.
yeah, definitely. and just killing off, other families of lycanthropes or whatever, rather than and kind of making sure that they were fine.
Yeah, I probably possibly need to figure out a more reason for the lycanthrope hunters to think it's the Lord, because obviously he's got the family, he's got the wolf head, and
but I mean, is it just that? I mean, part of the thing could be he happens, depending on obviously what your storyline is for that type of thing there. But does he always go off to hunt boars in his walled-off garden when it's
midnight
on a full moon?
He likes to do a moon because it'd be a good idea to hunt at night, wouldn't it? Because if you're going to hunt at night in a full moon, because you can see, right?
Yeah.
So yes, maybe he always
is
hunts
that
at
something
midnight.
there, and comes. He's come. They've seen him come back once with slightly shredded clothes. But it might be that the boar got him and stuff there, but because they're so fanatical on their particular. Obviously, this depends on whereabouts.
Could be a were-boar, of course.
Could be a were-boar. Or were-minotaur. So all of those things have been quite, and just the way of, the mother kind of berating the son and other bits and pieces, that type of thing is always just fun. And then them just having an argument about, I told you not to bring your mother and stuff there is, it's kind of almost Monty Python.
There was a bit slap. It's very well. That because when I originally did, I had like two characters, these two lycanthrope hunters, and I had a spot for a third person. I thought, what's the most ludicrous thing you could have? And I thought, I was looking to my face folio. I saw this old lady. I thought, wouldn't it be hilarious if one of their this butch guy's mother is accompanying him, and she's like, not now, mother.
Yeah. Been a very naughty boy.
Yeah, he's been a very naughty boy.
I think there's definitely stuff that I've just missed out on.
You are at a disadvantage in some respect because you can't chat to your fellow gamers, right? What do you think? What do you think of the poem?
Yeah, for real.
Because someone would read it out and you could hear it, whereas you have to read it out and hear it.
Yeah, and to be fair, I think I got theoretically I got
So what's your verdict on the? Have you any ideas about? Do you think this poem means anything, or is it just like?
For me, when it was.
What time to do it? I don't want to keep you up too late.
So when they say nil lie can thrive, I mean no lycanthrope can thrive. No where to hide, so they've got nowhere to hide, and also where, as in
it's in the old tongue, so they're missing some letters, maybe. Some of the lie is kind of like why.
Yeah. So
maybe no.
No lies in hope. I guess the in and hope. Hunton and Houghton, no. But again, for the lies is initially me kind of thinking lycanthrope. So again for there, and that they have no hope if they're around, and then nowhere unchanged. So. Nowhere unchanged. So whether that's also with the Vormshort, the shape binder, so whether that's kept them in human form or Lycan, so in the were form,
right?
So they couldn't do anything and stuff
shape
there.
Binder.
So, and then black wolf head on a burnished gold thing is is that them being burnt, so there is nowhere, there's no hope, so they can't for them or whatever. So I'm not sure. So
anyway, you can think about that.
Yeah,
the reason I wrote it down is going to give you a chance to think about it. And what about what do you reckon's good? You think have any idea what might be the vibe on what's happening in Houghton?
So again, for me, it's kind of that classic kind of. Someone's taken over power, but then that person is either halfling wearing boots now is just on the face of it just screams that it's a either some form of shape changer or someone.
I can't remember what I said that Wildo said about Aldwin. I know he said he wore boots, right?
Yeah,
but I can't remember if he speculated. Did he say anything about it? Not maybe. I can't
Well, I
remember.
think like Who Wears Boots, and he was always really proud of his extra
Side piggies,
his thing. So, and and now doesn't have much knowledge of the local history and stuff there, and being the previous kind of
Submayor or whatever,
submayor
deputy
or
mayor.
thing there. So you kind of, that would be something you'd hope that those people he would have or whatever.
Yeah. So what's your gut feeling on Aldwyn then?
Well, I think it's obviously so. Is it something that's so? I guess a thing would be a doppelganger, but then surely a doppelganger would be able to recreate everything. But whether it just wouldn't be able to, although it can recreate it, would it necessarily have the hardiness of Hobbit's feet? I'm not sure. I don't know. Who knows?
So he's like,
gravel everyone, bastards.
So he's okay, yeah.
But then I guess why the amount of kind of fascistic kind of takeover of the place and lots of people running around and stuff there. So whether there's something just to try and keep that populace kind of right down and kind of
I see.
busy. The thing there is something to think about without a doubt. So I'm not.
Certainly, Clip still has a reason to go there, right?
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. I think there's quite a big reason for him to go there.
Almost so much so that you didn't follow the primary thread.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, to be fair, there's no reason why, in theory, you could. I mean, there's a little bit of a plot device where it's like, you've got to go now because the portal's open.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of like pressure there.
But I think that was the kind of part-way thing of kind of saying, look, if we go and do this thing, it takes a day. That's a day when we weren't travelling towards Halfton.
Oh, so that's why you want to catch up.
That's what you'd be able to think there. So kind of relieving the pressure on Clip to kind of go, actually, we're still doing your stuff, mate. But actually, Clip also going, actually, I might get some cool shit out of this as well. So
yeah, because in the end, he became an adventure for a reason, right?
Yeah, for real. So he's not stayed at home. He's not stayed at a thing there. So whether it's
let's just do this one more mission, one big job.
Yeah,
one
for real.
job.
Yeah, definitely. Or whether it's kind of like distant relatives that are still there, and maybe he left because his family died. Yeah, I guess that's.
I guess if we'd firmed up on why he'd gone home, we might have given us more reason to not.
But then I think
there.
we'd have to kind of expand on all of the characters and stuff there.
Maybe.
So
anyway, I think there was I think it's one of those things when you've got a game of D&D, you sometimes have to buy into the premise of what the DM's prepared, right? Because otherwise,
yeah, well, absolutely. Because otherwise, and also part of that thing as well is, I've never had. Well, actually, no, I've done it a couple of times, but I've not done it to the same degree as yourself. Certainly, it takes a lot to make this stuff kind of work, and kind of the background knowledge, and some of it will just be I can make up on the hoof and stuff.
Which is what I would normally have done.
Yeah.
This time it's actually much harder to run something you've prepared like this because I'm trying to test it, so I'm trying to stick with it. Because like often when we used to do I'd have a premise, but the game would like go off in its own direction.
Yeah, but I mean that's because you were dealing with just dickheads, wasn't it? Stuff there, so we're just thing there. So, but I think the whole thing sometimes that people. I mean, I don't have much experience with other kind of gaming groups from that thing there, but kind of almost deliberately not doing the stuff and kind of going, well, actually, no, we're just going to go south.
Yeah.
I think there, we don't like the look of this inn, so we're just going to think that's just a dick move.
It's a bit of a dick move, but I think there is. I listening to some games online, there are a few people who like, people play role playing games for so different reasons, and I met chatted to one guy once and I wasn't being a dick, but he was like, I think he was like I don't know what they call him, a simulationist. It's like, what would my character do?
Yeah.
And like instead of saying, I know you spent 18 hours preparing this dungeon, but my character wouldn't do it, so I'm getting on the boat and I'm leaving. Yeah. It's like, okay, then I guess I'll have to prepare something.
Or you just go. All right, sit on the boat for 18 hours then, and we're going to play it out in real time.
Well,
you know, and because I think I said before, like one of my very first experiences of Traveller back in the day, thing there was just this horrible experience of just this older guy. I don't know how old, because
How old were you though?
Yeah, so I was. So it would have been just before we met. So I would have been 10.
Right. Interesting.
And we'd kind of got my dad had. I just started getting into like figures, a bit of Dungeons and Dragons after watching Fire and Ice.
Yeah, sweet.
So that was the thing that we were talking about before. That was my mostly my entry into everything. We go to this place and we buy like their pre-mold, their figures that they would mold and kind of cast and stuff there. Always look like ring race as far as I remember stuff there.
Probably would if they're doing their own.
There, so, but quite cool. And just being super excited at that type of stuff there, but also being 10 years old, so not really knowing that much about things and maybe the etiquette that go with these things. And
you've always been a pretty polite guy. I can't imagine you would have like at the table going, I fly the starship. I don't think you would have done that. You would have been paying attention. I'm sure of it.
I hope so.
Yeah, come on.
But whether he was just whether he was just like, I'm not having more kids in there. But he literally just put us in the brig, and that's all we did. That's all other things. So we'd even bought so at the time.
So you put you in the brig and who else? Your dad? Or...
No, some other kid that I went with.
Okay.
Phil, I think it was. So. We'd even bought like a figure to represent us because the game that used to do was it 15mm? I think it was 15mm. The Traveller ones.
Yeah.
Because obviously at that time it was a fairly big game, and just kind of just laughed at us. That was his main thing. Just
that's pathetic, isn't it?
Yeah, and so so that works on both sides. If you've got like a bad DM or you've got bad players and stuff there, that was where I was getting to with that. So it is a joint thing to try and make sure that everybody has fun.
Yeah.
But at the same time, ultimately, for me, it's always been, it's been your campaign. So whilst I won't be like led by the hand to kind of do what we need to do and stuff there. Sure. You need a degree of freedom, and we've done stuff where it has been just completely free to do stuff and kind of been more narrative rather than kind of purely kind of data and stat driven stuff there. Yeah. But actually, at some point you do have to go. Actually, this is the kind of campaign that we're doing. This is the adventure that we're doing, and this is kind of where. You don't have a big neon sign going this way. It is there are things that because for me there were a couple of arcs, very big. The bigger arcs to kind of follow would be one going to Halfton.
Yeah.
But then being aware that I only made that a big one because of Clip.
A bit. I think this would have worked if you'd gone to Halfton, but I think and I don't want it to be a railroad. Like you have to go to the forest before you go to Halfton. But I think in terms of the play test and the sort of time you have, I thought it would work more neatly if you went to the forest first, just because it's But I think it's still in a more relaxed situation. Not that it's tense or anything, but I wouldn't say I forced you to go that way, but if you had gone that way, it would have been fine. It would have found its own way. But you said when we played back in the day, sometimes I'd start with a dungeon, and after room one, we just do just freebooting it, and no one gives a damn. Some people get upset apparently. Gary Gygax apparently ran a dungeon like with a screen, and like at the end of the adventure, he put the screen down. There wasn't even a map, and people were like, "What was that? That's outrageous! What are you talking about?" It's fine.
Did you have fun? Who cares? There's stuff there.
So I went to your house. I remember one time we just played a whole probably 8 hours of D&D or something, and it was just all made up. It was the one with the Ring of Insane Dingy and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And we just had a great time because it didn't matter. We just like freebooting it. But I think if someone's prepared a dungeon, I think there's a bit of a social contract to, follow the slight path and then
But also, if you're doing that, it's as we said just a bit earlier, just don't give the options of So you could have Fat Strider, who kind of offers those kind of tiny little bits there, but actually you're probably not going to be taking that. You could offer Saliusa to kind of say her little thing and be a bit weird and stuff there. So, but again, there's no major plot line there. You could then also go, with Bellend and Kebab with the whole lycanthrope thing, but actually that possibly feeds into what's going to happen on the main kind of storyline of
I mean,
whatever it is.
In fairness, I think you're right. They're kind of telling you more about what's happening in the wider adventure.
For real, absolutely.
And whether you could follow them now, or because in fairness with what it seemed unlikely you'd drop everything and go try catch some blink squirrels right straight away.
Yeah, absolutely. But
there's blink squirrels to be caught.
Yeah,
should you see them?
And that's the whole thing, isn't it? And I think that's almost like we did for the anthill.
Carapace, yeah.
Carapace, thank you. That's what I couldn't remember the name of it.
Oh, yeah, good.
Just with the kind of I actively went round getting any side quests jotting down all the bits and pieces and where I could take them and do the other bits and pieces.
You're very thorough in that regard. Who else can I speak to? Who's that guy?
And actually that was with your little character pictures as well. So it's kind of almost like a little thing to jot down stuff on, which is I think a really good.
I did wonder about trying to get an image for Waldo, and the problem is I don't have a cross-dressing halfling image with a parrot.
That's fairly niche.
It is a bit niche. But Medusa I could probably pull one for, and Waldo.
But with, as I say, that would then part of that depends on your, in the same way that I'm tailoring my response to what you're giving me. You're giving me stuff tailored on how you think I'll respond. So if you kind of go, this guy's just, if you're kind of looking, going at a group or whatever, going, this guy's just he's gonna try and get away from doing stuff there, then just don't give him stuff for that. If that, because as you say, ultimately you do enter a degree of a social contract, because actually all of this stuff, with their weapons and all the other bits and pieces that they have, is all based on what you've given them for that particular level, or they might have earned throughout other dungeons and stuff there. So it's I don't see a problem with that in any shape or form.
And the thing is, like with the glorious ravens, I didn't want to give you the images straight away because I thought if I had a picture of Waldo, then you might Waldo's important. He's got a picture, right? So I figure they'll be a little bit careful. Like it makes.
I'm not sure I'm clever enough to put that.
No, I don't know. But if you see a picture like that, you think, that must be an important thing. I'm going to interact with it. Whereas he's just the bartender. Yeah. Then you choose to. Everyone always talks to the bartender, probably, right? But
I mean, especially if the wench isn't coming over to kind of feed us and water us, then it's going to be a thing there. And again, halfling bartender, halfling my party. Yeah. Again, just trying to get that kind of initial kind of rapport going, just to kind of see what's going on.
That's when you said, the halfling goes up. I thought, that makes sense. The halfling probably would go, because I'm going to find some information. Let's get some rapport. All right, dude. Well, thanks for having a go at that.
Yeah.
You didn't get to kill anything this time.
Close. Came close.
Who are you going to kill?
Mama.
The mother. It's plot twist. Kill the mother!
Come back and find out Donna's up on murder charges.
She's a bit paranoid, so you might have set a seed in trade. All right. Well, that's it's 2.5 hours worth of chit chat and a bit of 15 minutes at the end. I'm going to call it there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, thanks. And,
no problem at all. Thanks for letting me play.
So let's have a think. So it's up to you if you want to have another go in person, or we can do it online, whatever fits best for you.
I like doing it in person.
Yeah,
it's quite good fun.
So my guess is probably 2 more sessions of this, because obviously you got
so
the beast.
There's this beastie thing, and then potentially Halfton as well, if that's.
But
that's
I'm not forcing the time frame, but I'm just saying, as long as you're happy, that probably at least 2 more, depending if you want to like scoop up all the side quests or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, that sounds good. Because I think, as you say, some of it will be either coincidental or stuff there. So when you're running along, suddenly see something sparkling, you just go over and grab it and kind of thing.
Ooh, so, what's that sparkling?
Yeah.
And part of the playtest is to find out what's sticky and what's not sticky. I mean, I tried to pick names I thought would stick in people's brains, because it's often hard to remember characters' names. So Popa, that'll stick in people's names. But
whoop 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 whoop, man! Give the bees, man!
Should have known, man.
It's my favourite stories of all time. But,
right, better hold that story, because I'm a bit worried where it's going to go. Right, cheers, dude.
Thanks.